Hi, welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? Okay, before we go too far, as usual, just want to make sure that the live stream is working fine, that you can see the visuals, the video feed. There's no problem whatsoever from my control panel. Everything seems to be working fine. Hopefully you guys can hear me. The microphone is working. I got a new holder here. This is the black color one, so it's not wobbly like usual. Finally got it fixed after months and months. Finally found a replacement for the microphone holder. So hopefully everything is okay. While I wait for some feedback, let me drink some coffee. Coffee first, always. I've got some feedback already. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Yumi. Alright, let's say hi to some people first. As usual, I'll say hi to members first. Members, your name will be highlighted in green and you have a star badge next to your name. Don't worry if you're not a member, I'll get to your chat just a little bit later, alright? Members will have priorities in my responses. Alright, Jeffrey says, hey Robin and gang. Hey Jeffrey, how are you? Very nice to see you here from Kansas. Another beautiful spring day with more storms coming tonight. I think it's perfect, right? So like during the daytime, everything is beautiful, and it rains later at night. It doesn't really matter. We're all at home already. Just let it rain, right? So I'm hoping you are going out for some shuttle therapy sessions, Jeffrey. Thanks, Jeffrey, for the feedback. Hey, Zoltan, how are you? Always very happy to see you here, Zoltan. Zoltan says, hi, Robin. Good evening for you. And hello, everyone from Maryland. Let's do this. Yes, let's do this, Zoltan. Thanks for being here. Jeff says, hey Robin, everyone. Hey Jeff, always very happy to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Hey Antrik, how are you? Antrik says, hello Robin and all from Washington, DC. Thanks for joining the stream, Antrik. Nice to see you again. Hi Yumi, how are you? Yumi says, hi Robin, hope you had a good day. It's been quite a busy day. It's been quite an interesting week. I'll talk about it a little bit later, the updates on what's happening in my life. So thanks for being here, Yumi. Marcus, hey, how are you? Marcus says, hey Robin from Ireland. Nice to see you here. Jerry, thank you so much for the update. Thanks, Yumi. Thanks, Cliff, for the update. And thanks for being here, Cliff. Hi, Pete. How are you? Jerry says, hi from sunny but little cold. 6 degrees in Finland. That's really nice. I guess it's a little bit cold. Anything below 10 degrees is really cold. I went out and took many photographs. Spring is nice. Yeah, take as many photographs as you can. Hey. Jamie says, love these lives. Cheers, Robin. Thank you so much, Jamie. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. Okay, I've caught up with the chat. Let's start with some updates on what's happening in my life. As usual, on Monday, I released a new video. This time, it is talking about my favorite lenses for Micro Four Thirds system, doing street photography specifically. The reason why I made the video was because a lot of people have asked me, hey Robin, what's your go-to lens or your favorite lens for street photography? And I have answered differently in different situations, and it has seemed to cause some confusion. Like for example, I'll say, oh, my favorite lens is 45 f4.8 because I do a lot of street portraits. And then some people say, but Robin, I still use like Panasonic 15. What's with that? Oh, recently I'm exploring with wide angle photography. So I want to do the 28 equivalent. Panasonic 15 gives it close to the 28 focal length equivalent. But how about the 25? Well, I shoot with 25 a lot because I love 50. And you know what? It's okay to have more than one favorite focal length. And I do use multiple lenses for my street photography. So to clear up any confusion in my latest post, I talk about the Olympus 45 f1.8 and what situation I use this lens for in my street photography. Talk about the Olympus 25 f1.8, and this is the lens that I use the most for my street photography. It is an all-rounder lens. I'm a 15mm shooter. I love shooting with the Olympus 25 f1.8. It is so small, so light, so sharp. And of course, I also do more wide-angle photography stuff these days for my street. More environmental portraits, and I use the Panasonic 15 1.7. I can't show you that because that's the lens that I use on the camera. You're seeing me through the lens for this live stream, so I can't show you the lens, right? So yeah, that video is on Monday. If you have not checked out the video, please go and check it out. And this week there was an interesting event. We have the Sigma FP launch. Why did I say Sigma FP? Oh my goodness, my brain is not working. I need to drink more coffee. It's the new Sigma BF launch. The Sigma FP was an old camera. What was the Sigma FP launch? Let me check. Just satisfy my own curiosity. FP launch date. I think it was like 5 years ago, right? 2019, yeah, 6 years ago. Sigma FP was launched 6 years ago. So it's been 6 years since Sigma released a new camera. Of course, there's a FPL, there's like a variant of the Sigma FP. That doesn't really count. Yeah, so there was a Sigma BF launch yesterday in Kuala Lumpur. I attended as a guest. I wasn't invited. So there was an open event for anyone basically who wanted to try and see the camera in person. You can just register and you'll come to the event. That's where they have like a talk and then you get to try the camera. There's some food served as well. Here in Malaysia, there's always food. Yeah, so I want to share some photographs I've taken from this event. So basically, the camera that I used to take all these photographs, just want to be upfront, is the Panasonic GM1. So I thought I just want to go minimal. And I've decided not to vlog about the event. Initially, I thought about creating a video to talk about the Sigma BF, just my quick impressions, but there were some problems. Number one, I can't put in my SD card, so I can't bring home any sample photographs because the camera does not have an SD card slot. And not having sample photographs to show, sort of like I wasn't very keen. And secondly, I knew this event there will be a lot of people, so I'm going to fight with a lot of people for limited units. I think they only had like 4 or 5 units available floating around. Like there was a crowd of like 30, 40 people. There were a lot of people, so many people, so few cameras. I don't think I have enough chance to just hold a camera for like half an hour to make my video, right? And it's a minimalist camera. There's like so much I can talk about. There's only so much I can talk about a minimalist camera. I can't make a full 10 minutes video. And for YouTube, you need to make at least 8 to 10 minutes video to satisfy the algorithm. So, and I was being lazy because I've had the shoots, projects. I just want to go there, chill, catch up with some friends, see the camera in person. So I went to the launch. I brought along my DJI Pocket 3 just in case I changed my mind. But in the end, I decided not to vlog or not to create a video about the Sigma BF. But I did take some sample photographs and I took some photographs of the event as a guest. So I wasn't moving around most of the time. I was seated at a fixed position. From the audience view, there were things happening on stage. There was the product presentation. The Sigma ambassador was talking. So I was seated at a fixed position. So I was using the Panasonic GM1. I brought 3 lenses, the kit lens, the 25 1.8 and the Olympus 45 f1.8. So yeah, let's check out the other photographs. This was the boss of the company that distributes Sigma. I think it's Audio Visual something. Let me check out what's the company's name. APD Sigma Malaysia. I don't even remember the name of the company. Audio and Photo Distributor is APD. Audio and Photo A&P Distributor. Audio and Photo Distributor, Sendirian Berhad. So they are the ones that distributes. They are the official distributors or the carrier of the Sigma brand in Malaysia. So that's the boss, I guess, the big boss of Sigma. He was giving a speech. If you found that the colors of these photographs are a bit strange, that's because they was taken with a Panasonic. I've talked about how I really hated Panasonic colors, and this is an example of it. The skin is weirdly, garishly pink or purplish, and it wasn't like that in real life. And I tried to correct the color as much as I can and shift the tint from magenta to green. It just doesn't work. It just looks wrong. Anyway, I left it as it is. These are as captured. I did not change the white balance in the end. Hey, I'm not paid to do this. I just want to capture those shots and share with you guys, right? So that's the boss from Sigma, and this is the Sigma ambassador of Malaysia, Wesley Wong. He is a master printer as well. He did all the prints for this particular event. He also does prints for a living. He has printed a lot of exhibitions for other photographers as well. So now, not surprising, he's been affiliated with Sigma for the longest time. Every time there's a new Sigma product or when Sigma wants to do something, Wesley will always be there. So now I think only recently he has become the official Sigma ambassador in Malaysia. So they invited him to give a speech to talk about the Sigma BF, which was launched yesterday. So there he was. Just want to show you, this was in front of me. The crowd doesn't look so much from here, but there's another photograph that shows a lot more. There's the main stage. They have like a large TV to show photographs and presentation slides. And you can see the prints at the wall next to Wesley, the Sigma ambassador. Those photographs were taken by some were local photographers in Malaysia. So yeah. And that's the other side. On my right side, you can see there's a lot of people. Easily I counted like maybe 40 people. And not everyone arrived yet. Some people came late. One of my friends came late. So yeah, so the event was fully packed. It was a Thai restaurant in a shopping mall in Mont Kiara or Hatamas area. So it's close-up shots of Wesley. This was obviously taken with the Olympus 45 f1.8. I was talking about the Sigma FP, how it's minimalist. He was also talking about like why we don't need electronic viewfinder, why it doesn't have image stabilization, all the other things, and why I love it so much. And yeah, and this is actually Ming Thein. I was actually surprised to see Ming Thein. So those of you who have been with me from my blogging days, you would have known who Ming Thein is. Ming Thein was one of the largest photography blogger ever. But he has stopped blogging. He stopped like, I think 4 or 5 years ago. He quit blogging altogether. He was one of the very, very famous blogger and very talented photographer. He's a Malaysian. So I myself am a blogger as well and a photographer. So, you can put 2 and 2 together. It's not difficult to predict that me and Ming Thein would meet and become friends. And we've been friends for a long time. And there was a time where I actually wrote and contributed to his blog on mingthein.com. All my articles are still up there. If you go to Ming Thein's blog, you can still see my articles there. So it was pretty cool, me and Ming Thein. So I haven't seen him in a while. The last time I saw him was late last year. So yeah, it's been like a few months I haven't seen him. So it's pretty cool seeing him at the event. And he was asked to unbox a Sigma BF camera. And that was the camera that he bought. So he was the first person from Malaysia to pre-order the Sigma BF. So he's the first person from Malaysia to own the camera. So he's received his unit. So he was asked to unbox his Sigma BF in front of the live audience. So that's what this was all about. So that's Ming Thein. It's nice to see him again. And yeah, so the box itself doesn't have any stickers on it. It doesn't have any unnecessary decorations. They stayed true to pure minimalism. And this is like a true minimalist camera, Sigma BF. No cables, no chargers, nothing. Just a camera, a chunk of a camera inside that box, which is pretty interesting. So that's the boss of the Sigma Malaysia there, together with the Wesley. The Wesley is on the left in the photograph. That's the Sigma ambassador, and Ming Thein in the middle, the first person to own the Sigma BF in Malaysia. So yeah, slowly unboxing the camera, taking the camera out from the sleeves, and yeah, they were talking, making jokes. It was all nice. This was obviously taken with the Olympus 45 f1.8. You guys see why I love using this lens, right, for events. Although I'm not the actual photographer hired to shoot this event. I mean, these photographs might still be used as official photographs already, right? It's like just as good. And to think that, I was just using the Panasonic GM1. Like this is not even like my best camera in my arsenal, and yet I can still get like those shots, get close and show you guys everything. So yeah. And slowly the sleeve is coming off, and he got the silver version, of course. Of course, silver version to make a statement, right? So yeah, so happy Ming Thein got his new camera to play. So yeah, so of course after the event there was food. There were a lot of people like caught up, so of course I got my chance to play with the camera, both the black and the silver version. Here is me holding the Sigma with the 2470 f4L lens, which is not really a small lens. So that's a funny thing. I love the look of the camera. I love that it's not very large. I love that it's quite small. I love the minimalist design of it, but it doesn't work to me because the lenses are not small. They need, like, Sigma, anyone from the L Alliance, like Panasonic or Sigma or Leica, they need to make truly small lenses, right? To make it work. Like, it just doesn't work for me. Like, attaching such a gigantic lens on the camera. The camera looks fine. The camera is beautiful. But that lens is ugly. You get what I mean? So a beautiful camera with an ugly lens still makes for an ugly combination. So that's just my thoughts. Don't get me wrong. I think the Sigma BF is beautiful. It looks gorgeous. It's just an appeal for something that looks so simple, so sleek, and it's just so minimalist, right? There's like very few buttons, very few controls on the camera itself. The less is more, right? It's just beautiful. But once you attach your lens on it, that's it. It doesn't look beautiful at all. So yeah, control-wise, it's very bare. You have to press a lot of times. You have to turn the dial a lot of times to get to what you want. Sometimes that can get quite frustrating, but it is what it is. It's a very niche product. You have to understand the product and use it as it is, right? You don't make it fit into what you want to do. You have to learn how to use the camera as it is. So this is one of the camera that it needs some getting used to. So I can't comment much now because I've only held the camera briefly. I only had like 5-10 minutes with the camera. So there's so many people in the queue. I don't want to hog the camera. That's not my hand. That's my friend John Law's hand. I just need a hand to show the scale of the camera. And yeah, that's John's hand holding the camera up. I still think the lens is just the wrong lens. Even if attached a prime lens, it's still gonna be big, right? This is John's hand, and this is the 35 f2 prime lens, which is not the smallest lens. Even so, attached on the camera, it still looks wrong somehow. It looks too long. It just doesn't have the right. I don't know. Like if you're into fashion and design, you know that this is wrong, right? It's a mismatch. And yeah, this is the camera facing up just on a glass. There's some other sample cameras. I don't think the cameras under the glass is functional. Those are just dummy units for display, I think. So yeah. So the next photograph, of course, is for my photo sharing, which is for later. So these are the photographs of the Sigma BF event. My thoughts on the camera, I can't talk much about it for now. I'd have very limited time with the camera. Maybe they will loan me a unit for review, but I thought that, you know, like Sigma BF was launched like a month ago. And a lot of people in Malaysia have already tried it. I know a few people that have tried it. And I mean, they have my phone number. So if I were in the considerations of the people to loan out the camera to try and make content, I would have received a call by now. Even with the event, right, the launch event, I wasn't invited. So it tells a lot. It tells a lot that I'm not in the list. And even if I get a camera, like, should I be making a content about it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys interested to know my thoughts on this Sigma BF? I don't know. This $2,000 camera is the same price as the OM System OM3. So there you go. Yeah. So what do you guys think? That's the Sigma FP. Okay, that's what happened yesterday. Just thought it's nice to share what's happened in my life, the events that I go to. I call it with a lot of nice people. It's a nice event. I thought the launch was pretty well done. It was quite a successful launch. And I think that the Sigma BF will be a hot selling camera. I think it's already in serious back order now everywhere. And I think it's going to be a hit everywhere in the world. And even in the US already, I think there's like a huge pre-orders numbers already. And yeah, but who knows? I can't say much about the camera. I have limited time. If I have time with the camera, maybe I'll make a content. Maybe I will not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next week, there will be no live stream. So I'll take 1 week break next week. Reason is because on Thursday night, same time next week, I have a job booking. Finally, after like a year of me doing live stream, this is the first time my job actually clashed with my live stream. I normally have, most of my jobs happen during daytime, and if it's nighttime, it's usually in the weekends. During weekdays, it's always during the daytime. It's always in the morning. I seldom get shoots at night. So I'll be shooting for a job, for a client, next Thursday evening, so it clashes with my live stream. And I was thinking of maybe making it on a Friday or bringing it forward to Wednesday, but I don't think it's a good idea. Wednesday night, it's Jimmy Chang's live stream. I don't want to clash with him. If it's Friday night, I think people want to go out, and yeah, even on Friday night, I have something on, I have a dinner on, so I'm not free to do live stream on next Friday night as well. So I thought, let's just take 1 week break. So there's no live stream for next week. Right? Finally, I have I have a job that clashes with my live stream. Strange, right? For 1 year, you think that as a photographer, I'll get jobs on Thursday nights. But anyway, yeah, that's it. I don't think there's any more updates for now. Anything I have to tell you guys? Sigma, I talk about it. I have several photographs to share later. And then, of course, we have a very interesting topic to talk about what makes Macro Four Thirds so special. But before we dive into the topic, let me remind everyone that I have enabled the membership on this channel. And you can support me by just with the price of a cup of coffee, and you get some really cool perks. You get to see my video 24 hours before everyone else. It's an early access privilege for members only. We also have members only live streams once every month, and this month's members only live stream will be tomorrow. So if you join now as a member, you'll catch this month's just in time to catch this month's members only live stream, where we have more intimate conversations and I don't have to go through so many chats before I read your chat. And of course, if you are a member, I will respond to your comments first, whether it's old video or new video. I will reply to you first before everyone else. You have priority. Even in these live streams, I will reply to the members' chats first before everyone else. All right. I've taken down some older videos because they were not performing well, and these videos include tips and tricks on composition, black and white photography, how to get sharp images doing macro, as well as a lot of POV street photography. And the reason I took them down is because I don't want them to dilute the algorithm of YouTube. I want YouTube to continue to push my newer videos to a wider audience. So I took them down. But if you want full access to all these videos, you can join as a member. You can see them like normal videos, right? There are other ways to support me. If you don't want to join as a member, you can buy me a cup of coffee using this link up there. You can also contribute directly to my PayPal, or you can buy from my affiliate links from Amazon and B&H. All links in the description below. So any support from you guys is deeply appreciated. They will continue to help me to fund my resources in making my videos. Of course, to make these videos, they require some cost, some money, and I've been using my own funds. So if you contribute, it goes to supporting me in making all these new videos, sharing more tips and tricks, sharing more photographs with you guys, more reviews on Macro Four Thirds equipment in the future. So yeah, anyone who have contributed to me, who has supported me along the way, thank you so much. Without you guys, there's no Robin Wong. All right, now before I get back to the chat, let's drink some coffee. Coffee first, always. Okay. Let's get back to the chat. I see some familiar names. Chris says, hello Robin, everyone. Overcast here in Isle of Wight, southern UK. Hey Chris, how are you? Nice to see you here. Rippy, how are you, Rippy? Rippy is a friend. Rajendra Putra, it's been a while. Hey, we should do some photo walks together in one of these weekends. Hey, Rippy. And yeah, Ming Thein was there. I haven't seen him in ages, I know, right? He's been in hiding since he's quit his blog. He's not been involved with the photography community ever since, right? You don't see him anymore. Jeffrey says, gosh, surprised to see Ming. Used to follow along with both of you years ago when Ming was also blogging. Yeah, I know, right? Should get him back to blogging. Hey, it doesn't have to be like anything serious. Just share his like normal casual stuff. That would be great, right? It doesn't have to be a professional photographer to have a photography blog, right? So it would be nice to see him share some new photographs again. It would be really cool. I really like his black and white work. Jeffrey says the Sigma is sort of futuristic and maybe a camera before its time, but perhaps it opened doors to something yet to come. Yeah, they're trying to be different, which is not a bad thing. I think all the cameras in the past 5 years or even 8 years, they're all trying to be the same. If you just take any cameras from any brands like Fuji, Canon, Nikon, even Olympus system, they all look the same and they all have the same image sensor, image stabilization, like the control of the camera, the layout is the same. They all have similar lenses. They're pretty much copying each other, right? Like Olympus came out with the 5-axis image stabilization, everyone copied it. Sony came out with the human face and eye detect autofocus, everyone copied it. It's like everyone just copying everyone. It's just trying to make the same camera. It's so boring. And here's Sigma doing something completely different. It's like, okay, we don't care what you guys are doing. We just do what we want to do. No image stabilization, no electronic viewfinder, no tilt screen, no computational features like live composite, high-res shot. We use an old 24 megapixels full-frame sensor. Who cares what everyone is doing? There's not even a mechanical shutter in the camera. We just do what we want to do, right? So yeah, it's refreshing to see it, but how successful or how good the camera is, I can't say because I only have limited time with it. So yeah. Photox say, hello Robin, do you ever mention the 12 f2 lens? Still one of my favorites. Okay, let me find my video. to... I would have mentioned almost everything on my blog. So here is the video I made on the Olympus 12F2 quite some time ago. So Photo X, if you can look at the chat. Let me see, Olympus 12mm f2. You can check out this video later. I'll put it up here. Alright, there you go. I talked about that lens before. Zoltan says, Olympus Micro Four Thirds system is the pioneers of the development of the mirrorless interchangeable lens camera, compact lightweight interchangeable lens camera. Yeah, Olympus and Panasonic, who started the mirrorless, and others cut up and followed. Yeah, it was Panasonic that started, and then of course Panasonic and Olympus, they were together in the Micro Four Thirds system, but Panasonic came out with the G1, so they were the first. They were the first to come up with a Micro Four Thirds or mirrorless camera or interchangeable lens camera. Too much attention for this Sigma joke? 9 made in a day, no one can buy this. I wouldn't call the camera a joke. I think the camera is very successful, and most reviews are, or actually all the reviews I've seen are very positive. And I think it's good to be different. Of course, everyone can chase whatever they want, right? I'm not saying that you have to like the camera. It's also okay for you not to like something. But just because you think that this camera is not for you, it's also not very nice to say that this camera is a joke. Like, for example, I'm not going to buy a Leica camera because I can't afford one. And honestly, I don't think it's worth it, value-wise. I can do a lot of things I want to do with what I have now, and spending more on the Leica will not improve my photography. And just because I cannot afford the Leica, and just because I think Leica is overpriced, it doesn't bring enough performance or features to justify the value of the camera, I wouldn't call Leica cameras a joke. Similarly, Sigma. I can't comment much on the Sigma because I haven't played with it yet, whether I like it or not, but I wouldn't just call it a joke just because I disagree with the product design. It's obviously minimalist, it's controversial, it doesn't have a lot of features that we have all come to love, like 5-axis image stabilization, electronic viewfinder. If you are the one that, if you want the traditional kind of camera, if you're staying conservative, if you're trying to be safe, if you want a camera to do everything, including making coffee or vacuum the floor, or if the camera can book flights for you, good. There are cameras that can do that, right? If you want a camera that can tell you how to write a university thesis, I'm sure there are cameras out there that can do that for you. But not everyone wants all these features, right? Some people want a more minimalist approach to photography. That's why Leica cameras are so popular. And I don't want to negate what these camera companies are trying to do, and the more varieties that we have, the more choices that we have in the market, is actually beneficial to us as photographers in the world where we have threats coming in from all corners against the camera, right? Let's face it, because smartphones are so popular now, everyone has a smartphone and smartphone cameras are getting better, camera sales are declining because of that. Not only that, there's a rise of AI and everything. I don't want to go into that. It's all doom and gloom. But the reality is camera sales are declining more than ever these days. And for a camera company to come out with a camera that is so drastically different, I mean, kudos, Sigma. Great job. Job well done. I'll say, please make more cameras and make it even more radical and more unconventional as you can. Because all the other cameras are looking so boring, right? So just because something is different, oops, the screen froze for a bit. Let me fix this. Yeah, something is wrong with the I'm still here. I'm sure you guys can hear me. Something is wrong with this thing now. I'm not sure what happened. Let me see if this can fix it. Hopefully it can. If not, let me see. Give me a moment, guys. Let's see if I can activate this. Okay, should be fine. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, just because you don't like the camera doesn't mean it's a joke, right? So yeah. Linda says, hi Robin and everyone. For once, I'm in time for the stream. Hey Linda, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. Let's get to the members first. Mike says, hi Robin, I shot an A show this weekend. EM1 Mark III, 40-150 with the teleconverter. Other photographers there had the Sigma 150 to 600 on the full frame, and my kit was so much smaller but same reach. So much fun. Yeah, I'm sure you got some amazing shots as well, Mike. Jeffrey says, you made an interesting observation regarding the BF and learning to adapt to the camera, not adapt camera to the person. I think I tend to prefer the adaptability I've found in Micro Four Thirds to my needs. Yeah, even Micro Four Thirds UI takes some time to get used to, right? It's not like you get a Panasonic or OM system camera and you can use the camera immediately. It takes some time to know the camera, to understand the camera. And yeah, that's the problem with a lot of photographers these days, right? They use something, they don't even know how to maximize the potential of the product, whether it's camera or lens, and they decided that it's not for them and they just give up immediately and just want to upgrade to the next best thing, right? I think knowing your equipment is important, knowing how to squeeze every last bit of potential out of the camera and lens and get the best results possible. That takes time, like even a year or two to really get to know the camera, right? Yeah, Jeffrey says, I use other cameras, full frame, but Micro Four Thirds and OM in particular seems to be able to adapt to unexpected situations a bit better than other systems. Yeah, true, like whether the system can perform in different scenarios. And I think the huge part of it is because it's a lot smaller and lighter, you can just bring it around and you can be more agile, so it's more flexible, right? So the camera can just function in a lot of situations. Yeah, that's a very good point. We'll talk about that very, very soon. Oh yes, Linda, Ming Thein, I remember Ming Thien's blog. The blog is still out there, by the way. Like all the old articles are still there, and mind you, all the beautiful writings from Ming Thein, you can still read them if you want to. Like there's plenty of archives to dig through. So yeah. Hey, the drunk wedding photographer, how are you? Moshi Moshi. Nice to see you here. Boris says, hi Robin, long time no see. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing alright. A little bit busy at the moment, but I'm doing fine. I'm buying a new compact camera for travel and street photography, EM10 Mark II or 3. Which one do you recommend? Price is similar. A lot of people seem to like the EM10 Mark II better than EM10 Mark III because EM10 Mark III, they remove the customizable dials, it has less buttons. What else is missing? Like when you shoot in silent shutter, you can't control like shoot in manual or aperture priority if you're fixed with program mode. It's become like a more simplified, more dumbed down version of the EM10 Mark II. So yeah, a lot of people seem to prefer the EM10 Mark II. I don't know. For me, it doesn't really matter. If I use the EM10 series camera, I'll just use it as a simple camera. I don't mind not having so much customization or the custom dials or the controls. If I want all those things, I have my EM1 Mark II and OM1. So different cameras for different purposes. So yeah, I think both cameras are great. You won't go wrong either way. So yeah. Mika says, I could see the BF as a fun camera for people that want to constrain themselves to try to push their creativity, much like only shooting with a prime instead of a zoom, shooting only in black and white, etc. Yeah, it's definitely, if you want to use the BF, you have to come from a different approach, different mindset. Like, it's not a camera to do everything, right? It's also the kind of camera where it's very intentional. If you want to use the camera, you need to use it with intention. So you got to plan a little bit ahead to get your shots. So I'm not saying it's bad. It's not really, there's no good and bad in photography, just whether it suits you or not. And I can see how the Sigma BF may not suit a lot of people, and just because it doesn't suit you doesn't mean it's a bad camera, right? So yeah. The Drown Wedding photographer says, what's the point of making a small camera but not small lens? It looks goofy with large lenses. I agree with that. That's what I mentioned, right? I wish Sigma or Panasonic or Leica would make small lenses. That would be great. Pete says, I'm not keen on the Sigma, not for me at all. I'd much rather have the OM3 or my OM1. Yeah. If you want all the features, if you want all the capabilities or the speed, even the Sigma BF is weather sealed. Well, if you want like electronic viewfinder, 5-system image stabilization, if you want all the good stuff, right? Of course, the Sigma is not for you. Kip says, where do you find event like this in Malaysia? They announce it on their page. If you follow Sigma Malaysia, they announce the Sigma event on the page. Like if you follow Nikon Malaysia, Nikon will announce Nikon events on the page. If you follow OM System Malaysia, OM System will announce the events on the page. You just have to follow the brands, right? Yeah. Ether says, needs a small 35 f3.5. No, I think I can make a small 35 f1.8. Stop making lenses too large. It's unnecessary. Hey Andrew, how are you? Andrew says, would love to hear your opinion on the camera. Well, if they loan me, why not? All right, like they have my number, and it's not like I'm impossible to reach. I show up every week without fail, right? I'm everywhere. Like people in Malaysia know me, right? So yeah, they just have to call me, right? How are you, Andrew? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, we should, yeah, definitely catch up, whether it's star speakers or, yeah, do some street photography. John was at the event though, John Low, yesterday. Like the hands you saw holding the camera, that's John's hand. I was like, John, I need your hand. So there you go. Henning says the whole camera look wrong, not rounded edges, promise uncomfortable hand feeling. Missing buttons lead to quirky menus and such, so no for me. It's not a camera for everyone. If you want like proper handling, proper ergonomics, that's the wrong camera. But having said that, like you can attach external grip because it's so small, so minimalist, it's so easy to attach. It's all just square, right? So it's easy for third-party manufacturers to come up with a proper gripping for the camera. You can just attach on the hot shoe. Quirky menus, I wouldn't say the menus is quirky. I think they had a different approach to how you access all the important settings. I wouldn't say it's the quickest way because buttons will definitely be quicker, direct buttons, right? But I wouldn't comment on this now because I haven't used the camera. I want to use the camera first. Then I can say, oh, the menu sucks, for example, right? I mean, you haven't even held the camera. How do you know the menu sucks? It's very unfair to immediately conclude something without even used it extensively, right? So yeah, the non-rounded edges, I think it's not a camera for you to use for a long duration of time. If you want to shoot, let's say on the street for 3 hours, definitely a camera with a proper gripping will be more comfortable. This comment is also valid for OM3. It's not that comfortable to hold for a long duration of time. Like something like EPL 7 or EM10 will be more comfortable to hold compared to the OM3. So anyways, you know what it is. Then don't force the camera to do what it's not supposed to do, right? Like for example, that's not the kind of camera you want to use for sports photography. So you're not going to shove 150 to 600 on a Sigma BF and shoot sports. You're just going to ask for trouble, right? So yeah, use it for what it's supposed to do, right? So yeah, let's see. I want to start talking about the topic soon. It's already 10:30. Boris says, hi Robin, how do you use EPL without viewfinder in harsh sunlight? Do you have any advice? The screen is perfectly visible. Like have you had any issue looking through the screen? I thought the screen is perfectly fine. Even under the direct sun, the visibility is actually very good. I can't say the same for Sony screens though. Like I remember using Sony A7 Mark III and A7 Mark IV to shoot video for a friend. It's so hard to see on the screen. I don't know what's wrong with the screen, but on Olympus LCD screen, it's actually visibility is actually quite good. I have no issue. Yeah. Is there any MPB alternatives in Malaysia and Singapore? MPB international delivery. I don't know what MPB is. I'm sorry. Obviously, we don't have MPB here. Like what? They sell cameras, right? That's all I know. Camera store, we have a lot here locally in Malaysia. I can easily recommend any camera stores here. Yeah, I know, right? I still write though. Like I just published a blog. I made a short blog article, and I meant to write the article on the Sigma BF launch, which I have not. I think I must have mispronounced the BF a lot, right? I must have said FP many times. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to write a blog article on the BF, but I have not. So yeah, that will come. Quantian says, can you tell us about Olympus EM5 Mark I with manual focus lens? No, because no autofocus, no go for Robin. No worries. All right. Hey, Santix, how are you? Nice to see you. How are you, Santix? How is Kajang? Yeah, David, good morning. Good morning to you too. Always a pleasure. Thanks for dropping by the stream. All right, I'll put a pause here. Okay, because I do want to dive into the topic. Where was this? Why did I have David's comment? Interesting. Okay, let's see. Where was this? Anyway, yep, let me just put this away. Let me drink some coffee and we'll just start rolling with the topic. I think it's no secret that I'm a Macro Four Thirds fan. Let's start with that. And I love Macro Four Thirds, and that's because Macro Four Thirds has contributed a lot to the industry. So I just want to take this opportunity to revisit some of the important moments in the past 10 years, what has Micro Four Thirds done and why Micro Four Thirds is so important and how they've pushed the industry forward, right? Although they are not the leader, they were never number one really in the camera market. They were number one in mirrorless for the longest time. Of course, they lost a spot. We've talked about why Micro Four Thirds is losing, is struggling. We've talked about that 2 weeks ago. But now we want to look back and really revisit the important moments, what made Micro Four Thirds so important and special. Number one, let's start with lens. So this went back way before even Micro Four Thirds. This was Four Thirds. And why I want to talk about this, because Micro Four Thirds is also built based on the Four Thirds philosophy. So they have this telecentric optical design. What is telecentric design? Basically, the lens is designed to be larger and it covers a larger area of the image sensor. Not only that, the lens is made to design so that the alignment, the size of the lens, the red element, the position, is designed in a way that the light will hit the sensor, image sensor, as perpendicularly as possible. Instead of like the light straying off at the edges, that's why you have like soft corners, we have more problems at the edges of the screen when you shoot with full frame. This is before mirrorless, right? This is like DSLR time, the film era, and then when the DSLR came, they didn't design the lenses to be telecentric. They just changed the film area to become, they just fit in the image sensor where the film was supposed to be, and they call it like digital camera, right? Whereas Four Thirds and Micro Four Thirds, they redesigned the camera from zero. They completely made it digital, so the lens and the image sensor were optimized to the point where the light gathered from the lens is optimized when it's collected on the image sensor. That's why Micro Four Thirds images, right from the start, we have sharp images across the frame, edge to edge, corner to corner. You have really, really high per pixel sharpness. Like, it's just simply amazing. You get you basically squeeze everything you can out of the lens using telecentric optical design. And this design, it was so amazing. It worked so well, it was so efficient, it's so effective that everyone copied this design. So when Canon and Nikon went mirrorless, like Z system is in 2018, right? When Nikon went to the Z system, they launched the Z6, Z7, and Canon launched the EOS R, and then subsequently R6 and R5. They incorporated the telecentric design in the lens, the new lenses or the new mount, the RF mount and the Nikon Z. They have the telecentric design, and guess what? Micro Four Thirds, they have figured this out like 15 years ago. Right in the beginning, right? They already used telecentric design. So they were the first to adapt telecentric design. They were the first to show how to optimize lens design and get the best out of the lens. They were the first to push this idea forward. It worked so well, everyone took notice, and everyone also copied the telecentric design. There's something that not a lot of people talk about, but I think it's important to remind everyone that, hey, this was from Micro Four Thirds in the first place, right? All right, number two. Olympus introduced 5-axis image stabilization. Some people actually challenged this notion. They said, no, Pentax came up with it, but I did some research. Pentax did come up with something like a 5-axis, but no, they only claimed 3-axis with a little bit of stabilization in the vertical and horizontal translation, but it wasn't a true 5-axis. And all articles, this is still true, they all pointed to the fact that it was Olympus who introduced the world's first true 5-axis capable image stabilization system built into the camera image sensor. So this is revolutionary. Like, once you've tried it, you know there's no going back. And yeah, this is the reason why in my heart, I know, as beautiful as that Sigma BF is, it probably is not for me just because it doesn't have image stabilization. If I were to invest in that kind of money, I want built-in 5-axis image stabilization because I've used it. I've tried it in so many cameras, in my Olympus cameras. I also tried in my Nikon Z5, a full-frame camera. It has a very capable 5-axis image stabilization. It's just that without it, it just doesn't work for me. It's like there's something missing in the camera if it doesn't have it. And it's so effective, it changes the way you shoot, right? It just boosts the confidence of you getting that shot, and that stabilized shot, it just squeezes everything out of the pixel, because what's the point of having 100 megapixels if you don't have fully stabilized shot and the pixels are wasted. Alright, I'd rather have lower pixel but fully stabilized and can squeeze every single pixel out of the image or the camera, and you can only do that with the 5-axis image stabilization, right? And because it's so successful, it's so powerful, everyone and everything, Fuji, Nikon, Canon, Sony, Leica, everyone has 5-axis image stabilization. Like seriously, it's so important to have it. It's like you're missing something out if you don't have a 5-axis image stabilization. It all started from Micro Four Thirds, right? And it took Panasonic a while to figure this out because it was always Olympus that had it. But Panasonic finally introduced it in G9. G9 was the first camera from Panasonic. I think it was in the year 2018, I think 2018 or 2017, 2018. When Panasonic G9 came out, it was quite late. Olympus already had it in 2012, sorry, it was EM5, so it was 5-6 years later, and Panasonic adopted it. So it was actually Olympus, not so much of Micro Four Thirds. It was Olympus that pushed 5-axis IS. And I always associate the 5-axis IS with Micro Four Thirds because I've used Olympus EM5, EM1, EM1 Mark II, and in between like EPL7, EM10, right, all the other cameras during that time, they all have like the amazing, at least 5-axis image stabilization that they made such a huge difference in the way I shoot my photographs. So yeah. Number 3, like truly small and compact cameras. And generally Micro Four Thirds are small. Only recently, I don't know why things are getting a little bit out of hand, like OM1, OM Mark II, even OM3 is large. Panasonic G9 Mark II and the GH7, they're like larger than Sony, Canon, Nikon full frame cameras, which doesn't make sense. But generally, all the other cameras like EM1, EM5, EM10, Panasonic GH7, and of course, don't forget the amazing Panasonic GM1. Look at how tiny it is. And all the photographs earlier that I showed you that I took for the event at the Sigma BF launch, they were all shot on this tiny GM1. And you can change lens. You can adapt any Micro Four Thirds lenses on it, which is amazing. It has still a full size Micro Four Thirds sensor. You can create nice bokeh with it. You have some really good low light performance. You have really good dynamic range. Like, it's still a capable camera. It's, in a way, I want to say that this is like Sigma BF from more than 10 years ago. It's minimalist, it doesn't have image stabilization, no electronic viewfinder, very little dials and controls. It's meant to be really simplistic, straight to the point. You have to be intentional, but it works. I use this to shoot the event. I have no issue whatsoever. I never wish I have my OM1 or EM1 Mark II with me. I still get the shots. You still see the shots that I've shown you guys earlier. I don't think those are bad shots coming out from this tiny camera. And this is what Micro Four Thirds is. Like, creating truly tiny cameras that can deliver great results. Like, seriously, like, come on. That's truly something fantastic, right? And then, of course, number 4, just now we talk about small cameras. Number 4, we have truly capable professional grade mirrorless camera. And this was EM1. Now, just now we talk about Panasonic, now we swing back to Olympus. So EM1 showed the world how to make a true professional grade mirrorless camera. So this was in the year 2013. EM1 not only won the camera of the year at the DP review, but it won product of the year. And it wasn't surprising because EM1 was truly revolutionary. The camera is made to be so robust. It has magnesium alloy body. It's the first mirrorless weather-sealed camera, or maybe the second. First one was EM5, and then Olympus was EM1 was the second. But the first professional weather-sealed camera. It has not only has dust and splash proof, but I think it's also the first camera to be freeze proof. So together with the lens, 12 to 40, freeze proof down to minus 10 degrees. And the camera has, again, 5-axis image stabilization, built-in electronic viewfinder, which apparently still has the same pixel as today's camera from OM system, right? 12 years later, in 2025, still using the same resolution, 2.36 million dot, in the electronic viewfinder of OM3. Like, you would think that there'll be some progress like, after 12 years. Anyway, back to the EM1. Stop complaining about OM3. It has a beefy grip, it handles like a DSLR, it has twin dials, amazing handling, it has really fast autofocus, and the image sensor is quite capable at that time. It doesn't really surpass, but it comes very close to the best APS-C camera at that time. amazing resolution, amazing dynamic range, capable high ISO performance, and it doesn't lag too far behind the full frame camera at its generation, right? So yeah, amazing image quality, very fast, very responsive, amazing build quality, robust, solid, weather sealed. It's capable. You can use it in a lot of situations. And yeah, it's just a camera that just performs and delivers in professional shooting environment. All this DNA in an EM1 was copied by everyone, by Sony, by Fuji, by Nikon, by Canon. It's from this EM1 that slowly everyone just copied all this DNA, and they learn how to make a truly capable, professional grade, small, compact sized, mirrorless camera. All this from the EM1 original, right? So EM1, oh yeah, I have it here. Why am I hiding this camera? So yeah, it's all from this camera. So yeah, I've been shooting more and more of this EM1 recently for my street photography, and later during my photo sharing session, the series of photographs will be from this EM1, also with this exact lens 25 f1.8. So everything is on this camera, like it's just the right size. It's not too small. The handling is so comfortable, right? But it's not too large. It's still small. Alright, despite it's not too small, it's still very small. It has capable built-in electronic viewfinder, has 5-6 mesh stabilization. Yes, like all the basics of what makes a great camera or a professional camera. I've shot weddings with this camera, I've shot events, I've shot festivals, I've shot concerts, I've shot so many jobs with this EM1 before I upgraded to the EM1 Mark II, which is an even more fantastic camera. Right, so yeah. And Panasonic is not sitting idly. So they've been winning awards, and they've also gained a lot of success and popularity among filmmakers who seek smaller cameras to work with. So Panasonic showed the mirrorless crowd how to make filmmaking cameras, right? Or cinema cameras, like really small cameras. The GH2, GH3, those were legendary now. A lot of documentary photographers have won awards shooting films with this Panasonic system. And yeah, then GH4, GH5 continue the tradition to just push the boundaries of what's possible in the filmmaking or the video capabilities using small cameras. And yeah, of course, Sony and everyone else also push what they can do with the video, but it all started from Panasonic when GH2 was out there making award-winning documentaries, when GH3 was out there making all this amazing like independent films, right? Sony was not even focused on making videos yet. The A7 series was not even launched yet, right? So yeah, so it was this Panasonic. Earlier on, the A7 series cameras were not really that great, right? It was until A7 Mark III and A7S, then things start to get more and more interesting. But before that, it was Panasonic. It was the go-to system. If you want something small, if you want something minimal, if you want something that doesn't cost a bomb, right? So Micro Four Thirds system from Panasonic's side was the go-to system for filmmaking. And yeah, and my last point, what makes Micro Four Thirds so special, at least to me, is the lenses. Like we still have the tiniest lenses out there that is very capable. Like this is the 45 f1.8. A lot of people ask me, Robin, like, wow, what do you shoot your videos with? You look so good, like, you know, like the background blur, how I look so professional with everything, because I was shooting in the park, lighting is not a problem, sunlight is the best light, right? The trick is not the camera, the trick here is the lens. The secret is in this lens, it's the 45 f1.8. It's so small, so light, and the bokeh is so beautiful. I know, a lot of people say the Panasonic 42.5 is better. Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it's not, I don't know. But like, when I look at my images I've taken with this Olympus 45 f1.8, I never wish it to be any better. It is already so good. There's nothing I'm not happy with it, right? And look at that. This is the 50 equivalent, 25 f1.8. Even if you have the smallest 15mm prime from full frame or APS-C, it's still not going to be as small as this, right? I know it's not 50, people say 25, 50, but then again, here's the question. If you shoot with, let's say this lens, 25, are you going to shoot like a 25mm lens? Let's say you're in a tight situation, you're in a very, very limited space, you need to take a group photograph. Are you going to fit like 20 people with this lens? Or are you going to switch to a 12mm lens? So a 25 is a 50 equivalent. We talk about equivalent focal length. We don't talk about, oh, 25 is 25, right? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, to me, this is a 50mm lens equivalent. And yeah, it's still very small compared to full frame 50. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, it's the lenses that make it work for me, and we are not short of lenses to choose from, and all the lenses are so small, so light, and they are so sharp. They're already so sharp, wide open at f1.8 or f1.4 or f1.2, whatever lens you have from Micro Four Thirds, you don't have to start on. A lot of people say, I know, like, oh, but the full frame, you know, there's like, it's f2. 3.5 or 3.6 equivalent, it's not f1.8. Really? Like, when I use this f1.8 or whatever, right? I never wish there's more blur in the background. And the equivalence talk is more about how much blur in it. Like, if blur is the only thing you can get out of it, I think that's very sad, right? Like, that shouldn't be the only tool you have in your photography. And I've never had any issue blurring off my background using Micro Four Thirds system. In fact, I've also talked about this before. My client actually requested me to have not that much blur in some shots. They said, hey, we pay to decorate this place. Like, we want them in your frame. Can you not have so much blur or not? And we want our branding to be visible. Like, I want the brand or the logo of the company to be seen. But your photographs are blurring everything off. Like, can we not have so much blur in your photographs? So there you go, right? If I want blur, I have blur, right? So yeah. So honestly, to me, Micro Four Thirds is still very special. And there are many things that make Micro Four Thirds special. They have done so much in the past 10 years to push the industry forward. They showed the world how to make a truly capable mirrorless professional grade camera. They showed the world all this nice technology like 5-axis image stabilization. I haven't even talked about the computational features yet. Everyone just copied all the computational features from Micro Four Thirds. And it was Olympus and Panasonic that pushed the world forward in this mirrorless game, and there's so much that the industry has to thank Micro Four Thirds for showing them how to make all this possible, right? Just want to celebrate all this uniqueness and what makes Micro Four Thirds so special. To me, it is still special. It is still a capable system. I still shoot with Micro Four Thirds. That's not going to change, at least for now, right? All right, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my thoughts? What makes Micro Four Thirds so special? Why do you shoot with Micro Four Thirds? Share with me in the chat. I'll get to it shortly, but let me drink some water. It's almost 11 o'clock. Gotta stay hydrated, drink some coffee, and I'll get back to the chat. So yeah, let's see how many people are here at the moment. There's like 104 people watching, 107. All right. Okay, let's get to the chat. As usual, if you are new here, I always will reply to members first. If you're a member, then your name will be highlighted in green and there's a star badge next to your name, all right? But I'll get to every single chat, don't worry. Just give me a bit more time and just be a bit more patient with me. Okay. Oh, Mika says, I still read your blog religiously. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I guess like, I try to update as much as I can, but life has gotten a bit more complicated. Like, it's not like last time I don't have a YouTube channel. I only have the blog, right? So of course, I would say the quality or the output will be different because I pour everything into the blog. But now I have to obviously to prioritize the YouTube channel, and it's no secret the YouTube channel brings in some income, and I need the money, right? So because more energy and more effort is being put in the YouTube channel, so the blog has become secondary and so like a little bit neglected, but I still keep it updated as much as I can. Mike says, telecentric lenses have been used in TV cameras for decades, but not in cameras. Not in like actual consumer cameras, right? It was Olympus who started in the Four Thirds design. Yeah. Jeffrey says, points out the key and why Four Thirds is the label. It had to do with TV camera system. Yeah. Jeffrey says, I shoot with a lot of folks that shoot Micro Four Thirds and full frame for commercial work. Our hands are only so small, body can get too small. But I agree in principle, we need compact body within reason. Yeah, I mean, technically, this is not like that tiny, right? This EM1. It's like a mini DSLR. Okay, it makes it's actually the shape of the DSLR. It handles like a DSLR. It's still like, you see, I can fit my hands, my fingers on it comfortably, right? So yeah, there you go. I don't think handling should be a problem. Now it's too small. All right, squeeze fingers. Okay. Compact works with compact. Yeah, for small cameras, of course, your lenses will have to be small to match the small camera size, right? It only makes sense if your lenses are too large. It doesn't make sense for your camera body to be that small. Yeah, Mike says Sigma BF and Lumix S9 have the same lens mount and same sensor. The Sigma is 500 more and does less, yet people love it and hate the S9. Well, here's the thing, Mike. Panasonic is a Micro Four Thirds manufacturer. Panasonic makes a lot of cameras that are small and very capable. Case in point, Panasonic GM1. And their Micro Four Thirds products are excellent. Like we have the Panasonic G9, LX100, GM1, GM5, GX series camera. You know, they've been making great products over the years. They've made so many cameras. They are amazing. And not many people hate the camera. In fact, people who have used Panasonic cameras will say that they love Panasonic cameras. And then they come up with the S9. Why do they do the S9? They say, oh, we want to make the camera small. Oh, we want to target street photographers. Oh, we want to target the vlogging crowd. The S9 is heavily created for vlogging crowd, right? And they remove the mechanical shutter. They remove the hot shoe. And in the beginning, during launch, the S9 has the time limit. I think it's like 15 minutes to record in 4K or something, and then like 8 minutes if you record in 6K. I don't have the exact numbers, but those are like the approximate numbers from my memory. If your camera is meant to be a serious vlogging machine, why do you have time limit for video recording? And it's made to be so, I don't know, like they just compromise so much just to make it a full-frame camera. So why a lot of people hate the S9 is because it could have been this camera without all these compromises. Look at that. It's even smaller than the S9. It has a mechanical shutter, right? And in the GM5, you can fit in an electronic viewfinder. It's about the same size, maybe it's 1 or 2 millimeters bigger. And in the GM5, it has an electronic viewfinder. It's a camera with zero compromise made into a Micro Four Thirds setup. But Panasonic consciously chose to make the S9. That's why a lot of people gave the bad comment. Sigma is a different story. How can you equate Sigma with the Panasonic? Sigma never made that many cameras. The last camera they made was like 4 years ago, and the FP was launched 6 years ago. I think FPL was launched 4 years ago. They don't make like so many cameras every year, and certainly Sigma never made a Micro Four Thirds camera. Right? They don't have an equivalent. And so, because they don't make that many cameras, so Sigma, please, feel free to make something drastically different. And Sigma never promised the BF to be a vlogging camera. They never promised the camera to do anything. So Panasonic promised the S9 to be like the next best vlogging camera, targeting TikTok, IG, or content creators, YouTubers. Then what's with the time limit on the video? Alright, you see all these problems with the S9 that do not exist with the Sigma? Like, I don't think they can be compared. So we have a super chat. Thank you so much. Super chat from Mike. Appreciate the support. No worries. Let's get a chat. I'm a little bit behind, right? And yeah. You guys are talking to each other. No worries, Jeffrey. You guys are talking to each other again. Keep doing that. DW says, Micro Four Thirds is a very good balance on almost every aspect. Small f1.8, f2 primes are so small and optics are amazing. I see no other system offer. There's so much joy for photography. Yeah, and that's another thing that we need to talk about, right? Like how we enjoy photography. I talk about like why I enjoy the GM1 so much, right? It's just such a joy to use such a tiny camera for my street photography. So yeah. DW says, EM1 OM10 is not big, in fact a bit too small when using tele lenses like the 100 to 400. Or can I say the 100 to 400 is too big? It could have been smaller, right? Maybe a 30% smaller. I agree Micro Four Thirds should make small cameras that other formats cannot give us more options. Yes, we do need small cameras these days. That's definitely a must-have. Kip says, hey Robin, I'm new to your channel. I tried to find a video about sports photography, but I cannot find it. Oh, you didn't make it. I don't know what you think of me, but I'm definitely not a sports photographer. And if I'm not a sports photographer, I shouldn't be making sports photography videos, right? Like, I shouldn't pretend to be someone I'm not. There's the reason why I don't talk about filmmaking or using like cameras to shoot videos, right? Because I'm not a filmmaker. And that's the thing about a lot of YouTubers these days. They just suddenly everyone is an expert. Like suddenly everyone is a street photography expert. Everyone can talk about street photography or filmmaking or vlogging, or like everyone is an expert in this and that, and everyone knows everything. I'm like, wow, really? I can just wake up one day and decide I'm a sports photographer, like or astro photographer or a wildlife photographer, just because I have a camera and I can shoot wildlife. I'm a wildlife photographer. I don't think it works that way, right? Like, I have done street photography years and years and years. I've been doing weddings. I've been doing like the things that I do for so many years. That's why I can share and talk about them, right? I cannot just miraculously be a sports photographer. So yeah. Jeffrey says, my entry into Micro Four Thirds was the GH3 for video work. Exactly, right? That's what I talk about. I was shooting Canon 1DX, my goodness, in 5D in 2012. In 5 arrived. In 1 came out, I was hooked. One is the Sony A1 A7R Mark V. I love the Micro Four Thirds even more, yeah. It may not be the best at what it does, but it still can deliver great results. It's such a joy to use Micro Four Thirds, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. H says, hi Robin, greetings from Mexico. Hey, how are you? Now Lumix hide the Micro Four Thirds is very active on IG. Never shows Micro Four Thirds cameras or lenses. Out of 200 publications, 1 or 2 is only Micro Four Thirds. Walk and pay my bills with the GH6. Yeah, I wish Panasonic should focus more on Micro Four Thirds, right? Because they are one of the largest players. It's always Olympus and Panasonic. And when they don't push Micro Four Thirds enough, it shows a very negative message, I guess, that they don't really care about it already. Yeah. What juicy gossip? No gossip. Robin Wong doesn't do gossip. If only that's true. Hitch says, it's really good to catch you here in the office. We enjoy your thoughts a lot. Oh, thank you so much, Hitch. I'm glad I can share as much as I can. Alright, Santi says, I just got back from my Beijing, China trip. Wow, that must be really fun. EM1 Mark II with 2-40, 40-150. Wow, those are a lot of cameras and lenses. I would bring smaller though. I thought you have like a EPL8 or something. I would have carried the EPL8, EPL9. Yeah, they were smaller. So much walking in China, I should have gone with the EPL9. Yeah, I know, right? I would have carried like for travel. I wouldn't bother. That's why there's different cameras for different reasons, right? Like EM1 series cameras, you use EM1, but of course I'll use my EM1 Mark II or M1 for my jobs. But when I travel, man, tiny cameras for the win, man. Like, you don't need everything. You don't need everything, right, for travel. Just the basics. Yeah. Photox says, okay, it may be a joke as a camera, I agree, but so far there are more reviews than Sigma BF cameras. True. It's not really out there yet, right? Like, only the first camera arrived in Malaysia yesterday. So, a Set Puppy says, thank you for introducing me to the Micro Four Thirds platform. I bought the APL1. It's my first camera. I'm currently running with the EM10 Mark II. It's so convenient and fun. Yeah, EM10 Mark II is a great camera. Alright, Santi says, Micro Four Thirds is special because of the 4/3 ratio instead of 3:2. Nah, you can just crop, right? It doesn't really matter. It's not really the aspect ratio. Multiple brands, only OM and Lumix. Well, L Alliance is also used by multiple brands. Sigma, Leica, and Panasonic share the same mount. So yeah. Yeah. Size matters. If you want the smaller size possible, still Micro Four Thirds is still the way to go. Definitely, I agree with you on that, Santix. Definitely. Wildlife Unlimited says, I love my GH7 with Olympus 300 f4 for wildlife photography and videography. I'm a Sony shooter though. Nice. Yeah, so it's a Sony shooter that uses the GH7 for wildlife photography and videography. That's interesting. Quantian says, I'm buying the Olympus EM5 with the lens. Okay, but I'm new with it. Do you have any tips? Okay, I have manual focusing lens. Actually, everything is on my channel. You just have to search for it, right? But EM5 may not have some of the features I want to mention here though. Unfortunately, it's a bit too old. I have a few videos on manual focusing. Okay, maybe I'll just throw this one. Share. Copy. Okay. Manual focus tips with Olympus cameras. There you go. Some of the features may not be there, like focus peaking. EM5 does not have a focus peaking. So yeah, unfortunately, that's like the first, one of the very first few. It's the first OMD camera. It's the first one. So it doesn't have some of the features as mentioned. So yeah. Okay. Let's get back to the chat. Yumi says, I've been using Olympus menus for many years, but I always forget where to access the time-lapse or control wheel. The color wheel. Time-lapse is, I know where it is. It's at the bracketing part, right? Yeah, it's always menu number 2, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Wildlife Unlimited says, I'm planning to add 40-150 f2.8. Amazing lens. I think if you need that lens or that reach or that focal length, that is a fantastic lens. Yes, I agree with Pete as well. It's an amazing lens. Andrew says, honestly, I never understood Micro Four Thirds for many years since I've been so used with APS-C. Okay. I never understood APS-C for so long because I've been using Micro Four Thirds, right? Then came Robin with his videos and finally piqued my interest this year to try Micro Four Thirds. Well, like, to me, that 20% larger sensor area on the APS-C doesn't make any difference. If you look at the photons to photons or DxO mark sites where they compare the sensors, dynamic range or high ISO, APS-C doesn't give enough improvements to justify the use of APS-C cameras, right? If you really want big improvements, then it's full frame, right? If you really want like more dynamic range and high ISO, it's always full frame cameras. Yeah. Is DJI 15 a good alternative? Alternative to what exactly? Yeah. Yeah, go for it, Andrew. It's an awesome system, definitely. Pete says, MPB sells used gear, they are great to use. Okay. I guess if you want use cameras and lenses in Malaysia, there's so many shops doing that, right? KLDSLR, YL camera, like you just walk to the camera stores, they have used products inside the camera. So yeah. US are 20 under, no worries. Wow, Y1 Mark II. That's the latest and greatest. Vabagamuka, how are you, Vabagamuka? Good evening, Robin. Glad I'm able to catch the live. No worries, I'm just glad that you are here. Sunny says, if the telecentric design is an Olympus thing, not exactly Micro Four Thirds. It's Micro Four Thirds, because the Micro Four Thirds mount and the Micro Four Thirds mount, which is used by both Panasonic and Olympus, the mount has to be compatible with telecentric design. So it's a Micro Four Thirds thing. Yeah. Panasonic is also part of Four Thirds, yeah? Panasonic has Four Thirds and lenses and cameras as well. So when people think about Four Thirds or Micro Four Thirds, so it's Olympus. No, Panasonic is also a player. Don't forget about that. Yeah. Serafin says, Sigma seems to really attract the ladies. For me, it's a useless camera. I wouldn't be so harsh, Serafin. Just because something is not for me, I wouldn't call it useless, right? Like, for example, I personally don't like the Ricoh GR3 because, okay, the screen is horrible. I can't see it in hot sunlight. Battery life is miserable. The 5-axis image stabilization is like almost, there's no stabilization at all. And the camera attracts dust. Although you can't change lens, you can't open the camera, but dust gets in. And even when I shoot at f4, f5.6, I see dust spots on my images, which is troubling, right? I'm not saying that I don't get dust on my Micro Four Thirds sensor, but when I shoot at f4, f5.6, I don't see the dust. I only see the dust when I go to like f11, f16, right? So to me, that's not an issue. But the dust is a problem. So there are so many problems with the Ricoh series camera that like, but I wouldn't call it useless. That's just very mean, right? Like, seriously. I'm not saying that your opinion is not valid. Like, we can say we don't like the camera or the camera is not for me, right? I don't see myself using it, but I wouldn't say it's useless, right? That's just bad. C-Line says, another special feature of the Micro Four Thirds is the Four Thirds ratio. That's what Santit said earlier. If it's a bit more flexible for composition and cropping, yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I shot with Micro Four Thirds for the longest time, Four Thirds, and then I used the Nikon full frame, the Z5. I've been using it a lot to test some lenses recently and also for some of my personal work. I have no issue with 3:2 ratio, 4/3 ratio. You shoot what it is, right? You just adapt to the camera. Instead of trying to force the camera to fit your need, you have to adapt yourself to the camera, right? And learn how to make the best of what the camera can offer, yeah. Yes, it is. It is really tiny. And I made many, many videos on the GM1 and it can still produce excellent results even for today. Yeah. Okay, let me just read 1 or 2 more comments and then we will start sharing photographs. All right, just 1 or 2 more comments. Yeah, the GM1 and GM5 are like a Sigma BF. They are too rare. Pete says, I find the OM1 to be quite compact and small. I've used it for all types of photography. I find it to be humongous, unnecessarily large. And the perfect size will be the EM1 for me. I think this is just perfect. Anything bigger than this is just too big. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to pause here and I will start to share photographs. Before I do that, let me drink more water and some coffee, and then we'll share photographs for this week. Let's see how many people are here at this moment. We have 119 people. That is awesome. Just in time for the photo sharing. And this week's photograph, they were taken with the original EM1 from the year 2013. The first EM1, of course, this original EM1, but the second OMD camera from Olympus. This Olympus OMD EM1 original. And I paired it with the 25 f1.8. I went to Chalkit with a group of friends. We were shooting around the Chalkit area. It was quite a nice walk on a Sunday morning, just a few days ago. But it was cloudy, so lighting-wise, it wasn't that great. We don't have really good light to work with. It was cloudy, good for portraits, but not really good for like general street where I prefer bold colors, harsh light and shadow, things to play with, right? Because with better lighting, we also get nicer colors. The colors will pop. The image will look more punchy, more contrasty, but everything is just flat on that morning. Anyways, let's just get to the photographs. Okay, so this is at Chalkit, so they do have like sell clothes, shoes and everything. A lot of these vendors, they set up, whether it's at the shops or roadside, or there's like we call it pasar malam. How do you call it in English? Like a flea market or something, right? So all with the 25 f1.8. Of course, close-up portraits, I take a lot of that. These are sellers. I think they're transporting fruits. You can see the crates or the boxes of fruits at the back. Those are either apples or oranges, right? And this guy is they are just next to each other. So this guy's just standing outside of the truck. So I say, hey, can I take a photograph of you? So I go really close and grab a shot. You can see the lighting is very flat. Not my favorite kind of lighting, but sometimes we can just complain like, oh, the light's bad. Oh, there's no subject to shoot. Oh, like this doesn't work for me and that. And I think the less we complain, the better, because the more we complain, then the less chances of you getting the shot. Sometimes just go and just have fun. Just enjoy the process and just shoot what you can. Do what you can with that opportunity or whatever that you have at that moment, right? So yeah, just want to show you that it's cloudy. It actually rained a little bit in the morning, but it was just a light rain, a light drizzle, so we continued walking on, no issue whatsoever. Yeah, and yeah, the cat hiding surrounded by bottles, which is very fun. I thought it was quite strange, and it's nice that it's a white cat surrounded by white bottles. It's always nice to have cats in the photographs, right? I shoot a lot of cats. And the tip that I always share with people when you do street photography or just randomly walking around with a camera, shoot what you love. Shoot what moves you. If that's something can attract your attention, then it's a photograph worth taking. Don't think too much. Don't overthink. I think photography should not be something that's too complicated or too stressful. When you do photography for fun, it should be fun, right? When you're out there doing your shutter therapy, when you're out there doing street photography, you should be enjoying yourself. We have a super chat, so I'm gonna pause for a while and address this super chat. Thank you so much. Ricard, you are truly amazing. Oh, you're too kind, Ricard. Thank you for the contribution. Really appreciate it. Let me get back to the photo sharing. Thanks, Ricard. Really appreciate that. And colors. And I know like these colors sort of pop a little bit better if there's more light, if there's harsh sunlight and everything, things will look better. But really, like I can complain and not get anything, right? So instead of complaining, just click the shutter button. Do what you can. This may not be photographs that you narrow down to be your favorites, or this may not be the photographs you submit to competition. This may not be photographs that you want to print and hang up on the wall, but just continue shooting. That's the process of photography. The more you shoot, the better you get, right? And to me, at that particular moment, I just want to have fun. I just want to walk around and enjoy my Sunday morning walk. So there you go. Yeah, and there's a bunch of people just outside at the road. This is an actual road where the cars would pass by, but they set out like a morning market there. It's just a group of men sitting in a circle, chit-chatting, gossiping maybe, talking about politics, talking about the recent US tariffs imposed internationally everywhere. Yeah, just random people, real life people actually. Things that you actually see happen on the streets in actual reality. That's what I want to do. I want to capture that. I just want to capture things as is, document what it is out there. And these are the scenes that you see in Kuala Lumpur. It's so common everywhere in Kuala Lumpur. I just want to capture a slice of that, freeze it with my camera, and to me, that's it. I don't intend to make this a print, like a gigantic print to put on my living room, or I don't intend to submit this to a competition or do an exhibition. Sometimes people think like, oh, photography has to be like this grand thing, right? It has to be like this wonderful, majestic, like, it has to be like so dramatic. Like, no. Photography can be simple. Photography can be something meaningful just to you. And the photography can be just for yourself. You shoot for you. And that's me, documenting a slice of life in Kuala Lumpur, right? And there's a lady selling watermelons. Right. Just a normal lady selling watermelons by the roadside. It doesn't have to be something like, something that will be National Geographic worthy, right? So yeah. So 3 men sitting at the 5-foot way outside closed shops. It's Sunday morning, so a lot of shops are not open yet. It's early in the morning. What drew me in here is the colors of the gates or the doors. It's all in bright yellow and red, but unfortunately the colors don't really pop here. To me, it doesn't really matter. And I like that there's 3 of them. Rule of threes, not rule of thirds. Rule of threes or rule of odds. When you have odd numbers or odd numbers of subjects, it normally will work in your favor. So it's like 1, 3, 5. It's better than 2, 4, or 6. All right. So there's 3 people, so it works better that way. And a man with a beard, when I saw his beard, I'm like, I have got to take the photograph. So I approached him and said, dude, I must take a photo of you. And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So I grabbed a shot of him with all his glorious beard. So yeah, there you go. It is 25 f1.8. Yeah, I know the Olympus 45 f1.8 would have gotten a better shot, better bokeh, because it'll be like a nicer, smoother background, more compression, blurrier background, right? And the facial features will be more proportionate. But you work with what you have, right? Like I said, I can complain about 1 million things that go wrong, but what's the point of complaining? Just shoot, right? Shut up and get the photograph. Yeah, just doing some creative composition here, shooting through gaps. There's chess players on the street. That's at Chow Kit. It's very common. Shoot through openings and things that you can do to make things more interesting. Shooting through glass, that's always interesting because the glass reflects, and that minor reflection shows something more interesting, adds a layer to the photograph. Layers are always interesting, right? Oh, we have a member that's just joined. Let me just go out and acknowledge this. Right. Andrew, thank you so much for joining the membership. I appreciate that, Andrew. Thanks for the support and hope you enjoy the perks of being a member as well. Yeah, thanks for the support. Really appreciate that. All right. Welcome to the Photo Walk Buddies. Let's get back to the photo sharing. I just have a few more cameras. Cameras. I just have a few more photographs to go. All right. And I like taking photos like this. There's bold colors. There's a light bulb mysteriously hanging at the top left corner. And then there's like the fabric, which is like the blue on the top right corner. And there's like a tiny opening that peek into this man. And he's like putting his palm on his face. Obviously, he's not having a very good morning. Maybe he didn't sleep enough. We don't know. There's some mystery in the photograph. Like this composition, everything just works. There's a lot of negative space. There's just enough opening to see what's happening, and it's just like a natural framing to just direct your attention to the man sitting there, not having a good morning. So yeah, a lot happening in just one photograph that I like. So yeah, this is perhaps the photo of the day for me. Believe it or not, this was possibly the second shot that I took from that morning. So yeah, just a guy sitting around waiting for things to happen, or waiting for people, I guess, waiting for his friend. Right. And this is the way we sell our drinks here. This is what we call ikat tepi, or tied to the side. drinks we sell in plastic bags. This is iced tea, iced black tea without milk, right? And it's served with plastic bag, with plastic straw. It's a single-use plastic. It's very bad for the environment, but it's sort of like ingrained to the culture, which is very, very, very bad. So yeah. More portraits of strangers. You will know that if I go out and shoot, I'll approach strangers, I'll ask their permission, be respectful, go really close and grab a tight hand and shoulder shot of them, right? More portraits as well. This is more environmental. That's like a place where they store the fruits, which they'll distribute to the other vendors in the market. So yeah, these people are responsible to transport the fruits. So I'll call them the fruit transporter, if that's an actual job. And they're also very happy to see me, so I grab a shot of them. Very friendly people. More people along the streets. Just environmental portraits. See all the crates are for the fruits. So they're sitting around waiting for the fruits to arrive. Some creative or some motion blur intended in this shot, waiting for the man to pass by and fill in the middle part of the frame, which is dark. So yeah, waiting for someone wearing colorful clothes to pass by. So there you go, some slow shutter action there. And the final shot of the day. So watermelons and some rock melon waiting to be transported by all these strong young men. So that's the last shot of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the short photo sharing session. They were all taken with this Olympus EM1 with the 25 f1.8, and all these sample photographs are going to be used in a video where I talk about when I talk about why I still love using the EM1. Was that correct? Did I do that video? Let me see. Let me check before I say something wrong. What did I do? I made a video about it. So in my boards, let me see. Yeah. Yeah, the EM1. So wait, just give me a moment. Open up something to check. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the session, the short session. All right, let's get back to the chat. But before that, let me remind everyone that I have enabled membership on this channel. And with just the price of a cup of coffee, you can support me, all right? And you can have early access to my videos. You see my videos 24 hours before everyone else. That's every Monday. You can see my videos on Sundays. We have members only live stream, which is if you join now, you'll just be in time to check out the members only live stream for this month, which is happening tomorrow night. Okay, it's happening once a month. We can chat with me more intimately. We have more direct conversations. I don't have to go through so many chats, and I'll prioritize my replies to your comments. If you comment in my older videos or new videos, I'll definitely reply to you first before everyone else. I've also taken down my older videos, the videos that were not performing well. And these videos include tips and tricks on composition, tips and tricks on black and white photography, how to get sharp images doing macro photography with Macro Four Thirds system. Also, like a lot of street photography. All these videos, they were not doing well. I don't want YouTube to dilute the algorithm. I want them to continue to push these videos, my new videos, to a wider audience. That's why I took them down. If you want full access to all these videos, you can join as a member. There are other ways to support me. If you don't want to join as a member, you can buy me a cup of coffee using this link, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal, or you can buy from affiliate links from Amazon or B&H. All the links in the description below. Any contribution goes a long way, and I'll definitely appreciate them. It goes a long way to help me to push myself to make more videos to share with you guys. So yeah, and to members who have just joined, to Andrew, thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate that. And let me drink some water and coffee. I'll get back to the chat. We have 109 people watching at the moment concurrently. As usual, if you just joined, a reminder, I will reply to the members' chats first before I get to the non-members' chats, all right? There's some members chatting already. So let me get to the members' chat first. If you guys are talking to each other, continue to do so. I will not interrupt. Jeffrey says, Micro Four Thirds and smaller camera gets me into places that will attract attention with a bigger body and lens. It's been very helpful for my journalistic needs. I agree. And even on the streets, right, it helps if you have a small camera. People don't think that you're trying to do something suspicious. You're not doing something too serious. Small cameras like, like GM1, it's just so more discreet, right? And more stealthy as well. It can walk around with stealth. Yeah, I agree with that. Jeffrey says, I used to feel you were unfair to criticize OM pushing wildlife photography, but statistically, street photography is the better genre for future growth, and I think your images convince me why it is. I'm not, I understand why they're doing wildlife photography, but that shouldn't be the only thing that they do, right? It's not wrong. Don't get me wrong, because Micro Four Thirds is obviously awesome for wildlife photography. We have smaller lenses, we have 5-axis image stabilization, we have all these nice computational features. We also have the bird detection autofocus. Don't get me wrong, I think OM system is good for wildlife. It's just that they sort of neglected everyone else. I think that's wrong, right? There's the world is more than just wildlife photography. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You guys are talking to each other, no worries. Andrew says, thanks for having me, Robin. No worries. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Andrew says, I've been watching too much videos of Robin's Let's Do This and it's Olympus 45 mm. I acquired one today. Surprisingly, a very good lens and most importantly, fun. Yes, and a lot of videos that you see, my talking head shots on my main channel, the videos that I do, it's all on the 45 f1.8. Seriously, it's such an amazing lens. Jeffrey says, Micro Four Thirds is a good system for learning photography. The use market is good and I found the cameras and lenses can go for millions of shots. I have a local repairman that can repair all the gear as well. That's fantastic. And I just find them to be so amazing, right? The Micro Four Thirds, whether you're a learning photographer or if you're an advanced photographer, or even if you are a photographer that has multiple systems, you already have used Sony or Canon or Nikon. If you want something so small and so light to just carry around with you, look at this. Just chuck it into a small bag. You don't even have to carry your large Nikon or Canons around with you, right? I think it's a good second camera to have with you. Okay, let's see. Pete says, yeah, agree totally, Robin. Lenses for Micro Four Thirds are amazing. Yeah, Micro Four Thirds is all about lenses, right? If you ask me just for one reason, why Micro Four Thirds, just one reason, I'll say lenses, right? Mark says, I've had filmmakers say they need a wider depth of field or wider aperture. Ah, okay, really? Okay, then tell that to all these documentary award-winning videographers or filmmakers that shot with Panasonic GH series. Well, tell them that they are doing it wrong. They need wider aperture. Jeff says, I recently returned to 45 f1.2 because it was simply not as sharp as my 45 f1.8. Oh, really? Oh my, the 45 f1.2 is sharp, man. Something is wrong with your lens if it's not as sharp as the 45 f1.8. But having said that, there's nothing wrong with the 45 f1.8, right? Because it's so sharp. It's so amazing, right? Yeah, yeah. Jamie says, absolutely agree with you. I'm invested in the system now. Thanks for that, Jamie. Kelvin, hi from Sebago Lake, Maine. Hey, Kelvin, how are you? Nice to see you again here. Kunal says, the new 17 f1.8 feels great in hand. EM1 Mark III paired with the 17 focuses better than the Fuji X100 Mark VI. Here's the thing. I know I've been very critical about the OM1 and OM Mark II's autofocus, right? But then again, you are using EM1 Mark III, which is fantastic. But Fuji is another level of problem when it comes to autofocus. And if you follow the problems with the Fuji shooters that they've had, it seems like the firmware, which is supposed to fix or improve some issues, especially the autofocus, is making things worse. Each firmware just degrades the autofocus even more. So I don't know what Fuji is doing, and I really hope they get their act together and really fix the autofocus problem. Yeah. So there you go. You have lenses that focus faster on EM1 Mark II than the X100 Mark VI. And the EM1 Mark II and EM1 Mark III, the autofocus is so good, right? When it comes to OM1, it's like a step backwards. I'm talking about autofocus in low contrast and low light situation specifically. Yeah. Yeah, the EM1 Mark III and 17 1.8 Mark II is fully weather sealed, and only about 100 grams heavier than S100 Mark VI with the grip added. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Olympus, like, come on. Like, if you want portability, you can even go lower than that, right? You can go for like for example, EM5 Mark III. So it's even smaller and lighter than the EM1 Mark III, for example. Yeah. RAR Photography says, service from Austria. Micro Four Thirds is great. It fits in my pocket. Yeah. If you want small, lightweight system, Micro Four Thirds is the way to go. You have the Lumix GX880. That's like even smaller, right? And a Pan F. Oh, Pan F is such a beauty. I think a lot of people still wishes for a Pan F Mark II, right? Although OM3 came out, and I don't think OM system is going to make a Pan F Mark II. But I think a lot of people are still secretly wishing for a new Pan F Mark II. Yeah. Andreas says, are there only advantages and no disadvantages with the Micro Four Thirds sensor format? Well, the disadvantages will be like it has less dynamic range and high ISO performance compared to full frame. It's no secret, it's just physics, right? If you want to squeeze the most dynamic range out of a camera, if you can only use one camera, or if you're shooting with a lot of high ISO numbers in low light, then of course full frame will give you superior performance in that regard. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Micro Four Thirds fan. I never found my Micro Four Thirds system to be not enough or inadequate when shooting in low light or any dynamic range situation, high dynamic range situations, harsh lighting situations. But I gotta say, if you shoot with full frame, you get more out of the sensor. It's just physics. You can't go around that, right? It's just the truth. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Members comment first. Jeffrey says, shooting a lot of track and field this time of the year, I think the OM1 Mark II face autofocus has improved enough to compete with A1. It's better than OM1 Mark I. No. So OM3, which is supposed to have the same human face and AI tracking with the OM1 Mark II, which I've tested recently, not even as good as the Nikon Z5. Yeah. Andrew says, all my friends know I lug my Sony camera around every day, always avoiding my camera. I had my Micro Four Thirds camera for a month and they didn't realize I was carrying one. Talk about stealth. I know, right? That's like, it's almost like you're carrying nothing at all, right? Sometimes with the Micro Four Thirds. Yeah. Jeffrey says, it's frustrating they released the OM1 Mark I with the Phase F issue compared to previous bodies. No, I wasn't even complaining about the phase autofocus when I was using the OM1 Mark I. That's not my complaint in my videos. I complain about the autofocus failing me in low contrast, low light situations, and sometimes it's not even low light, just low contrast, where the EM1 Mark II can confidently nail the shot with no issue. And this has been verified. I'm not the only one with this problem. If you look at the comments in the videos that I've made, hundreds of people also face the similar problems. Like human face and eye, that's a bonus. If I don't have it, I just have to like make sure that I have the focusing point on the human face and eye, right? But having said that, yeah, you know, like Sony, Canon, and Nikon, especially Nikon, not even the highest grade camera, can have such reliable human face and eye tracking autofocus. Yeah, if I were to go for the flagship level camera today, any flagship level camera, even from Panasonic or OM system, I'll expect similar performance, right? It just doesn't have it. Yeah. OM3 is not as good as OM1 Mark II. Not sure what's different, but it's OM1 when I tried it. What do you mean OM3 is not as good as OM1 Mark II? Have you tried the OM3? Like OM3 and OM Mark II is basically the same. Same processor, same image sensor, right? And the same human face and eye tracking AI. Like, or at least that's what OM system claims, right? How can you say it's not as good? Yeah, it should be as good or as bad, depending on how you look at it. It's basically the same. Yeah. Christopher says, ultimately, corporations care about the bottom line. Panasonic's lack of support for Micro Four Thirds slightly reflects their marketing priorities more than any technical considerations, which makes no sense, right? Because small cameras is where all the rage is, and street photography is trending. And look at how successful Ricoh GR3 series cameras is, and also the Fuji X100 series, X100 Mark VI is sold everywhere, and they have heavy back order, right? Knowing that small cameras with interchangeable lens camera can sell well, why are they not doing it and make more money, right? If bottom line is what they care about, then why are they not learning or seeing that this is where the money is, right? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. Kunal says the metal focus rings on the 17 and 25F Mark II feels great, but then if I were to buy the 17F2 and the 25mm lens, I will never use manual focus. Never. No autofocus, no go for Robin. David says, agree with your points. Micro Four Thirds has a stabilization advantage since controlling a smaller, lighter sensor is easier. OM system and Panasonic could always stay a step ahead of everyone if they wanted. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Pete says, Micro Four Thirds is special for me as it makes photography such fun. So many great lenses, features. It's portable. It's brilliant. Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you are doing photography as a hobby, I think fun is a very important factor. Yeah, that's something that, I don't know, Sony couldn't figure it out. Like, Sony is so good at pushing, like the specs, being the fastest, having the best image sensor. They are making image sensors, so they know a thing or two about making best image sensor, right? Or, getting more megapixels, 60 megapixels, or having the best autofocus system. But somehow the fun factor is missing. I don't know, like if you handle a Sony camera, it feels soulless. I know this will somehow offend some people. I'm just being honest here. I'm not saying Sony cameras are bad. I've used some Sony cameras and they are truly impressive. If you're doing professional work, they can deliver, and they are the best out there at the moment. They have the global shutter in the A1 Mark III. They have like some of the best performing autofocus systems out there. I'm not gonna lie. If you want to get shots, they will deliver. But the fun factor somehow is missing. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Jeffrey says, as someone that shot 20,000 images per month, I guess I agree to disagree with autofocus analysis. Yeah, so it's like very simple, right? So OM Mark II, when I shoot, let's say human face and eye detect, the people will disappear very fast. It's like, but if I use a Sony, Canon, or Nikon camera, even the person is still very far away, still can track the human face and eye. And the thing that irks me the most about the human face and eye in the OM1 Mark II, or OM3, or OM1 is that it seems like it's in focus, and then you take the photograph, because it's almost there, right? Let's say it's 90% in focus. It misses slightly. It's just that slight softness that bothers me. It's not 100% sharp. And Nikon can do it with the Z5. So it's an entry-level camera. And on full-frame cameras and lenses, the depth of field is even shallower. So it's even harder for Nikon to nail the focus compared to OM1, OM1 Mark II, OM3. So it's just that slight miss. Like if I take 5 photographs, maybe 1 or 2 will be 100%. The other 3 will be like slight miss. It just bothers me that it can't get it 100%, right? It's just, Like, yeah, the OM3 is I've been using it so much for 2 weeks, right? So, yeah. Jeffrey says, I didn't test OM3, so just noticed that it felt OM1 with face focus, even though it's supposedly the same as OM1. I think it's the processor is not as capable. It's the same processor. What do you mean it's not as capable? It's using the exact same processor. So, yeah. They just dumb it down so that the OM1 Mark II has some advantages. Like OM3 can do 120 frames per second. It's basically the same processor, right? Yeah, it can do like live ND, grad ND, everything that the OM Mark II can do. So there's no reason why the autofocus is not as good. There's no reason, yeah, logically, right? Okay. Sealan says, it's a shame the Sigma camera doesn't have full weather sealing. It has. Sigma BF is fully weather sealed. Yeah. Pete says, love how Robin's live chats made us all feel part of the broadcast. Yeah, you guys are part of this. I mean, I'm doing this because you guys are here. Like, if there's no one chatting, I would have ended the stream now. And I'm doing this because you guys are here. And I always say this, without you guys, there's no Robin Wong. So again, thank you so much. Thanks, Pete, and thanks everyone for being here. So yeah. Fermi says, hang on for the 50 to 200. I think it's gonna be like later part of the year, right? That's what the announcement or the CEO's New Year's greetings message says. See how it compares to the 40 to 150 Pro and choose one. I think if you need the lens, get the 40 to 150. I think it's an excellent lens. I don't think you will regret it. It's crazy. If the 50-200 is going to be a better lens, I'm sure it will be. It's not going to be cheap at launch. At least 40 to 150, you have an option to buy used. It's been around for some time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that lens. It's a great, great lens. Quisep says, should OM System join the L Alliance and offer a full-frame camera line to survive? I talked about this before. Should OM System go full-frame? That's like one separate stream. But here's the thing. L Alliance is struggling. I don't think L Alliance is doing well. Panasonic, Sigma, Leica, they're not even in the top 5% of the market. What L Alliance? I think they are like, the market share of L Alliance is even lower than Micro Four Thirds. So if OM System joins L Alliance, I think it's suicide. What they should do is get the act together, really listen to the customers, and release wow products, make small cameras that target casual photographers, everyday photographers, go back to basics, and make Micro Four Thirds great again. If they can do that, I think there's a future for OM System. Yeah, not joining L. They don't even have enough resources. They are not making money. I mean, they are making money, but they're not profiting yet. In the past 3-4 years, they're still in the reds. So to suddenly jump into a new alliance, that is suicide, right? So yeah. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I have an EPL9 which I love. Do you recommend the 1442 or the 14-150? I prefer having one lens for all the shoots when traveling and being compact. If you want as compact as possible, as tiny as possible, 14-42. But if you want one lens to do everything, 14-150. Obviously, the 14-42 is not going to be able to zoom all the way to 150. And obviously, the 14-150 is not going to be as tiny as 14-42. So it depends on what is your priority. You can't have both. You want as small as possible if you want the zoom range. Pick one, right? So, yeah. Okay. So Jeffrey says, what you describe about the autofocus is exactly what I see with the OM1, but not with the OM1 Mark II, at least in my experience. It's more like with A1. Okay. Nah. I have also played with the OM1 Mark II, although not extensively. It's the same. It's the same. Andrew say, yes, Sony can be the best at everything they do, but also it also seems a bit soulless. There are many great features, but I hardly use them myself. Ah, all right. All right. Okay, let's see. I think circling back to the OM1 Mark II's comment, a lot of people have also tested it before and noted my similar comment. I'm not the first one to say this. You can easily look at the comments, and people who have compared it to Sony and Canon, they still say that it is behind, like really, really behind. It's not on the same level. It is better than OM1. I'm not saying it's worse, it's better, but it's not on the same level as Sony or Canon. And why shouldn't it be? Because you are a flagship camera, right? I'm expecting flagship level performance. Volkan says, hi, greetings from Turkey. Hey, Volkan, how are you? Nice to see you here. Hitch says, can you share some tips, something to reconnect with our cameras, with our photography sense, routine, chaos, bills, autofocus. This is the most hard time of the year or something. Interesting. I think, well, what's the reason that you are not connecting with your camera in the first place, right? Maybe it's work, maybe it's family, maybe you're going through something. If you need to take a break, take a break. You don't have to like continuously forcing yourself to do photography, because if it comes to a point where when you shoot with your camera out there, you're not enjoying yourself, then it's time to take a break and come back maybe 1 month later, maybe half a year later. Give yourself that mental break. And you will want to come back, because I think if you truly are passionate about photography, if you truly love photography in the first place, it will creep back into you at some point of your life. It can be 1 or 2 years later. Give yourself that space, because we all have priorities. And there are some things that are more important than photography in life, right? Like maybe your kid needs you more, or maybe your parents need you more, or your job is more demanding and you need to really push through that project and make sure it's successful. Maybe your business demands more time from you. Sort of your priorities, and photography should not be the main priority unless it's your professional work, right? And it's a different story. Then if none of this is a problem, if you're not burnt out, let's say if you don't have any creative block or whatever, if you just feel that, how do you want to fall in love with photography more? Let's say, what are the ways for you to be more connected to photography? Then I guess the only advice I can give you is shoot more. go out. Don't consume more. Shoot more. Because a lot of people they look at Instagram, they spend like hours and hours every day, look at Instagram, TikTok, or even watch endless YouTube videos. Sorry, I'm one of the contributing factor of the consumption of media, right? Spend more time shooting than consuming. I'm not saying stop consuming, I'm just saying make sure there's a balance. Shoot more, because the more you shoot, the more you're connected with photography, the more you're out there, the more chances of you getting the shot. The more you understand your camera, the more you can be more efficient in operating your camera, and the more you see the world, the more you practice, the better. You just get stronger and better in your photography. And yeah, I guess one problem that I see a lot of people have is not spending enough time shooting. And just spend more time complaining on photography forums, debating, arguing with other people on Facebook groups, trolling comments on YouTube videos, or like just watch and watch and watch, but they don't shoot enough. And the more you shoot, the better you get. All right. Oops. Am I still around? Everything just froze, so I have to refresh everything. Give me a moment, yeah, guys. If I'm still live. I hope I'm still live. Everything just went bonkers. Okay. Restarting the software. I hope everything is okay. I need to redo the chat. Let me reopen the chat. Everything just sort of like crashed on my end. Let me know if I'm still here, guys. I can see the chat. I can see my YouTube. On the YouTube is still okay. Let me just quickly fix this. Copy the chat. Okay, thanks Jeffrey for the update. Appreciate that. Paste. Okay. All right, it should work now. Let me see. Okay, thanks. Thanks Jeffrey for that. Yeah, live is more than Kodak moment. Okay, I have lost the tracking that I had earlier, so I may have missed some comments. If I have, I'm very sorry. So I'm just trying to trace back on which comments I have and have not replied. So just now I was here, right? Share some tips on Reconnect. Yeah, take a break if you have to. And if you're not having any issues or not going through some problems in life, just shoot more. That's the only advice I can give you. Okay. Jeffrey says, micro four thirds and smaller cameras gets me into places. I've talked about this. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've lost all the... Because after I've clicked a comment, there's like a highlight, meaning that I have already replied to that. So I've lost all the tracking. So bear with me, guys. Dave says, hi, Robin. I think both Panasonic and Olympus provide very good build quality in every product. I can't say the same about Sony or Canon. Canon products are surprisingly well built. Sony, I won't comment. Canon and Nikon, they know how to make cameras. Like if you've handled a Canon 5D cameras or 1DX series, or now maybe the R1, R3, or R5, R6, they are surprisingly well built. Yeah, I wouldn't say bad things about Canon's build quality. Yumi says the perfect micro four thirds camera does not exist because it would be the original EM1 with the 20 megapixel face detection autofocus for the tilt screen. You never know. If they listen, they'll make it happen. You'll never know. Hopefully they listen, right? Gordon says, hi Robin, busy morning, so just stop by for a minute to say hi. Thank you so much for stopping by, Gordon. Always appreciate that. Wish you are well and give a thumbs up. Yes, small cameras for the win. Small cameras for the win. I'll drink to that, Gordon. Mark says, so colorful. Always love your street photos. Thank you so much for the kind words. Appreciate that. Hutch says, cats and bottles, love it. Was that 25? Yes, it's all 25. The cat was probably f2.8 or f3.5. Let me just quickly check. Give me just one moment. Cat. The cat was f2.5. f2.5. So there you go. Oops. Screen froze. Not a very good night. Not a very good night. Let me just rearrange everything. The screen just froze. Let me see what happened. I'm still here, guys. Don't worry. The screen has frozen twice, right? This is the second time the screen froze. Okay. But we're about to end the stream, so I'll probably just be here for another 10 or 20 minutes. So yeah, hopefully this will be okay. Michael Ray says something in the images that the micro four thirds gives, like the crispness of the image, realism, the colors no other systems can give. Yeah, I think that's because of the what you call that, telecentric optical design, right? It's the telecentric lens design, which I talked about earlier. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Dave says, I like to get some smartphone with micro four thirds camera, more smartphone than you know was. I guess Xiaomi is making it. Have you seen the modular thing that Xiaomi came out with? I think so. Xiaomi will be the closest to micro four thirds, but they haven't launched the camera yet. It's just a concept at the moment, right? Hutch says, that shot, a bunch of people, all dudes, the photo have some decreased contrast, so there's a little white fog effect. Let's get back to the photograph. I think you were talking about, which one was that? This one? I don't think there's a decreased contrast, because if you look at the black, it's still fully black. I think it is just the lighting being flat, and this is the situation where you just have to embrace it or you don't shoot at all. And so I chose not to complain and just shoot. So this is why I talk about the flatness in the lighting when it is dull, it's cloudy, it's overcast. And if you artificially increase the contrast, if you make the contrast even more, the image will look very unnatural. So I just let it be. It appears a bit less contrasty. It is what it is. I just embrace what it is, and I still like the photograph regardless. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. Yeah, there must be some problem here as well. No worries. Okay, I'll read the last few comments and then we'll probably call it a night, because I almost caught up with the comment already. Yeah, let's see where we were. The 3 people seats are almost perfect alignment of the building lines. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it only works because let's get to the scene. It only works because one person look over, right? If everyone was looking away from me, then it wouldn't work. But one person actually turned his head and look at me, so it worked because of that. Yeah. I like that shot as well. That's my favorite shot. Yeah. No worries. Let's see. Use 4 threads or 69. So I shoot in RAW, and if I shoot in RAW, it has to be 4 thirds, and I don't crop. Right? Whatever you see, maybe there's some images, there might be some crop. Oh man, this is frozen again. Sorry about that. Some of the images may have some crop, but generally it's all from the 4 thirds originally. Okay, let me just fix this. Hopefully. Yeah. The cables are acting up. Or the connections acting up. Okay. The photos of fruit transporter is fun, great people, yeah. The best people when no reject the camera. I think I don't get a lot of rejection a lot, and if they do, it's fine, because they have a right not to be photographed, right? If they say no, I just say, okay, fine, sorry about that, just move on. And be prepared to be rejected. It's fine, it's okay to be rejected. We just have to be respectful, right? This side to screen says, good morning, Robin. Good morning to you too. How are you? All right. Hutch asks, are you sure? Do you use some software to help edit? I'm using Capture One. So only very minimal edits. Very, very minimal edits. Juliet, how are you? Nice to see you here, Juliet. Hi, Robin. I appreciate your lens video. I have them all and love them. I'm so tempted to buy the OM3. I need someone to talk me out of it. Just get it. If it's already in your mind, why not get it, right? My EM1 Mark II and OM5 are, GM5 are wonderful. Yeah. Just get it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hi, Photo. How are you? Nice to see you here. Yeah. Yeah, they need to improve their autofocus, right, Mark? Yeah, there's something with that. Dave says, so what do you think about the Nikon Z5 autofocus compared to Olympus, Fuji, etc.? The single autofocus, the Olympus is still faster. If I compare just a single autofocus, Z5 and EM1 Mark II, EM1 Mark II is definitely faster. And in low light, the EM1 Mark II focuses better than the Z5. However, the Z5's continuous autofocus just runs hoops around the EM1 Mark II. Like I can just tap on the screen and just follows the subject everywhere it goes to. And not only that, the human face in that detect, oh my goodness, it just blows the OM1 out of water. It is also a lot more reliable than the OM3, right? To some extent, it's also more reliable than OM1 Mark II. So yeah, if I were to use a single autofocus, nothing beats the EM1 Mark II at the moment. But the Z5, if I were to shoot tracking moving subjects or just want to use the human face in eye, it is definitely better. Yeah. Okay. Kanchem says, Robin, which one is harder? Looking for a good woman or the EP7 in the market? Because we don't have EP7 here, right? It's not being sold in Malaysia, so it's impossible to find. So I'll say it's easier to find a good woman, right? Yeah. Okay, I've replied to this already. Juliet says, you guys are talking to each other, no worries. Keep doing that. Yeah. Juliet says, I've been shooting candid documentary since 1999. The only camera that really allowed me to be nimble as I needed is a Ricoh GR3, but it died on me. So that's why it turned to Micro Four Thirds. Oh, so sorry to hear about the GR cameras. Yeah, that died. I guess Micro Four Thirds is a good substitute, right? Wellington says, is Fuji joining Micro Four Thirds? No, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. Wellington says, I miss lenses with zone focusing marks with some manual ones or the Olympus 17. Why zone focus? Just use autofocus. Yeah. Mark says, OM1 Mark 1 for back in flight is great, very close to the Canon R6 Mark II. You see, very close, right? And to think that OM1 was the first camera to have the bird detection autofocus, and yet now Canon is better. It's kind of sad. Panasonic G9 Mark II is good, but not OM1 level. But the G9 Mark II video is superior. Definitely. Panasonic knows what they're doing with video. That's something that OM system is lagging behind. I don't fault them. Panasonic, they have like what, DVD players, televisions. They're in the filmmaking. They have cinema cameras. They're like, yeah, they've been in the video making business for the longest time. Camcorders, right? Daniel says, I concur, Robin, with the OM3 and EM1 Mark III. The EM1 doesn't struggle in focusing on low contrast areas. OM3 does struggle with this. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what's with that, right? I'll expect that your newer cameras will not be taking this many steps backwards because it's that single autofocus reliability that made me so confident with the EM1 Mark II. I can shoot in any situations almost fail-proof. And I don't have that confidence when I shoot with my OM1. It's just kind of sad, right? Pete says, never had an issue with OM1 Mark II face detection. Yeah, well, I had a lot, so. Ridia says, hi, beginner question here. May I know if you're going to pick Viltrox with the best 2 or 3 of Viltrox we choose for general purpose to travel, family, portraits, how it's not as professional? I can't give you this kind of answer because it all depends on what you do and how you shoot. And I don't know you. And if you want a 35mm lens, there's a 35 Viltrox f1.8. If you want a 50, there's a 50 f2, 50 f1.8. If you're shooting with longer lens, there's 85 f1.8. If you want a wider lens, there's 16. So find the focal length that suits you or know yourself better. And by knowing what you prefer to shoot or how you shoot, then just find the right lens that suits your style, right? It's not that difficult to choose. Yeah. Sian says, hi Robin, any recommendations for Micro Four Thirds cameras in 2025, budget-wise? If you want budget, then look for used market. You can easily get EM1, still a great camera, or EM1 Mark II. I think if you can find EM1 Mark II, that would be fantastic. Yeah. Jackson says, go somewhere nice without the camera, it might help. Yeah, sometimes just leave the camera behind. Just immerse yourself in the moment, right? That will definitely help if you are losing interest in photography. Yeah. Thank you so much, Zoltar. I love Robin's realism about photography. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yep, I've replied to this already. Mark says, I wonder if stack sensor causes compromises in low light. I have zero issues in daylight wildlife with OM1. OM1 has stack sensor, right? Yeah, so OM1 is using stack sensor. Yeah. And I think OM1 is the one that have issues in low contrast and low light. Yeah. Depth of field of what? Okay. Tessa says, beginner, I just bought a Pen Mini. Oh, fantastic camera. And 45 f1.8. Have a wedding and graduation to practice at sighting. My advice is to get enough batteries because that tiny battery is not going to last the entire wedding ceremony. But 45 f1.8 is a good place to start. It's a fantastic lens. Yeah, Mike says, flat lighting invites black and white. No. I prefer to use my black and white, shoot my black and white with harsh light so I can create those crazy harsh shadow and highlight effects. Jerry says, appreciate your candor and friendly enthusiasm. Even I have a different opinion, your opinion carries more weight than me. No. Don't say this. My opinion doesn't carry more or less weight. This is my live stream, so of course I'm the only one talking, so I have to share my opinion, right? Everyone's opinion is valid. No, I'm not trying to invalidate everyone, but of course, like, hey, we are all different, right? Feel free to disagree, right? So yeah. Okay, I'm just thankful that people are here and people are watching, right? Zoltan says, dear Robin, here in America, we have a lot of cats. And I'm just curious, in Malaysia, also cats. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. That's why I take a lot of cat photographs. That's why I see a lot of cat photographs in my videos. Govat says, I have a friend that's a professional photographer. He just got fired to do AI photo. Hired or fired? Instead of being scared, it actually made me want to take more photographs. So he was fired because he did AI photos. Wow. Okay, this kind of sucks. I mean, I understand that AI is sort of like against, like, you know, like people who are trying to, the creatives, right, or the artists who generate original artwork. But yeah, just because he's doing AI, shouldn't be fired, right? Zimose says, I have happily the Panasonic GS9. Fantastic camera. Should I get the OM3 or wait for a new Panasonic GS9? If you love the GS9, stay with it, no worries. A lot of people love it. But I think the GS9 Panasonic is sort of like a fantasy at the moment. I don't think that's going to happen. But if you have the funds, and if you find that the OM3 works for you, why not? I think it's a fantastic camera. Wellington says, I have the GS9 and was thinking of moving to full frame, but the weight and size is preventing me. Would full frame change a lot? You need to ask yourself, why do you want to move to full frame in the first place? And what is it about the GS9 that you are not ground, that the Micro Four Thirds is not giving you sufficient blur? Or is it that the Micro Four Thirds sensor is not giving you sufficient dynamic range? Or if you're shooting in low light and then there's too much noise? What exactly in the full frame that you are looking for, the benefits, right? Then you talk about the weight and size. Yeah. Dave says, I meant a smartphone with Micro Four Thirds mount with some pancake as a kit lens. Well, it has Micro Four Thirds sensor and lens. It doesn't have a mount, the Xiaomi one I talked about earlier. So can't have everything, right? Can't have everything. Eric says, hi Robin, do you still use OM Workspace for processing? No, I just use Capture One at the moment. But if I use a new camera, let's say the OM3, for example, that doesn't support that the Capture One software doesn't have the native RAW support, then either I shoot JPEG or I just open up the OM Workspace to convert the RAW files to JPEG. Yeah, for new cameras, that's not supported yet. Guisep says, Robin, what camera objectives would you bring with you in a 2 people travel to Japan? It will be me and my son. Ah, okay. For travel, I guess camera objectives, I'll use something small. Right, something like GM1 or EPL7 or EM10, something small. And yeah, kit lens, and maybe 1 or 2 prime lens. They'll be good. Something with a small bag to carry around. Yeah, I'll leave anything big and heavy behind. Like smaller, the better for travel. Kanchem says, will you open a session for Micro Four Thirds friends, submit photos so we can appreciate and learn together? Here's the thing, right? A lot of people have asked me this question, do you do like photo critique, or do I want to allow people to come in to, or even start a community, open a Facebook group, or get people together, right? Let me answer the first part first, photo critique. I don't have time to through so many photos. That's number one. I just have to be honest. And number 2, I don't want my critique to affect people in a way that I don't want it to be intended. Let me clarify this. Everyone is different, and there's no right and wrong in photography. I have my shooting style, and I don't mind if people shoot the way that I shoot, or find or learn some things from me, or apply certain tips and tricks, or even my style to the photography. Even if they copy me 100%, right down to the composition, my camera settings, or how I edit my photographs, I don't mind people copying that. But ultimately, I don't want people to think that when I comment on some photographs, it's meant to be taken like very, very seriously, because I acknowledge that I carry some weight and I carry some authority, and I do have quite a following on this YouTube channel. So I don't want to, like, when I look at a photograph, if I don't like it, the reasons may be just personal, and the reasons may not even be applicable to a lot of situations. And we are all free to explore our photography our way. And if I don't like your photograph, I don't want to tell you I don't like it because I don't like the way you compose it, I don't like the colors, I don't like the lines, maybe I want to use a different lens. And just because of my comments, sometimes it may change the way you do things and may not be for the better. So I prefer to let people to explore their photography their own way. And especially if I don't know you in person, like I really don't know you that well to give you useful comments. What I'm trying to say is the critique session may be more damaging than doing any good in helping you, because I may not be giving you very good constructive feedback, if you understand what I mean. Although I may come from a good intention, I may come from a good place, I may try my best to be as helpful as possible, but everyone is different, right? Like, I may not like certain photograph, but that may be a winning photograph in National Geographic competition. And I may not like this group of photographs, but some people may pay like $50,000 to buy those photographs and hang on the wall. And at the end of the day, photography is subjective. So my advice is shoot what you love, shoot what moves you, and you will find your own voice. The more you shoot, the more sure you are, the more you improve, right? And the second part of the question is like, should I start a group of community? I have seen many groups started with the best intentions. It was so good. And then people start to, like make enemies, start to argue, start to like throw insults at each other. And there was even a group where people actually came out in person in real life and have a physical fight. I can see it happening. Like this, we are all different people. We all have different opinions. We all have different thoughts, and we all have different preferences. And we will disagree. And I can't control everything. I cannot guarantee that one person will not appear at your house with a bomb. You get what I mean? And I don't want to come to that. And I don't think I'm in the right place to start this community, right? So yeah, that's I guess that's my comment. I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, and I can hire help. I can have friends or volunteers that can help to moderate the group or whatever. But at the end of the day, I've seen groups start out with so great, and then like people start to fight, and then they just fizzle off and just died off. I've seen this happen again and again and again. It's been dozens and dozens of groups over the years. I just don't want it to happen with something that I start. I hope that answers your question. So yeah. Max says, any small micro foto camera you recommend to have in your pocket every day? Panasonic GM1. Every day, all day long. There you go. Kusep says, Robin, you're such a lovely person. Be respectfully honest and polite. Thank you so much. That's one of the reasons I follow your channel. I trust your reviews, and I love your street photography style. Thank you so much. And I think it's important to be respectful, right? Like especially street photography. A lot of street photographers these days, I don't know what's wrong with them. They will carry the camera with a wide angle lens. They'll like go straight to your face, and then they boom. And then with another hand with the wireless flash, off-camera flash, and then flash at full power at your face, like boom, like that. I'm like, what the hell are these people trying to do? Anyway, that's a different topic for another day. I think being respectful is very, very important. Yeah. We can all be nicer to each other, right? I think the world needs to be a little bit more pleasant, right? Mark says, can only make full frame lenses so small. Yeah. Okay, the world is so crazy now. Cameras are so expensive. For example, Lumix GX9 will cost $4,000 on Amazon. Really? How is that $4,000? The OM3 is only $2,000. Lumix G9 will be $2,500. Really? Okay, that's a bit ridiculous. They might as well just get the latest GH7, right? Why buy the old G9 or get the latest G9 Mark II? Will cost a bit less, right? Yeah. Someone says you're such a humble and honest. I try to be honest. I think honesty is very important. Something I learned from my ex-boss. Just be transparent. Because at the end of the day, people if you lie, if you say something wrong, it will come back to bite you someday, right? So yeah. Eric says, do you mind sharing why you prefer Capture One to OM Workspace? Speed. OM Workspace is just too slow, and I'm a professional photographer. I shoot for clients. Let's say I did an event, I come back with 2,000 photographs. If every single photograph will be like half a second slower, okay, I'm not using the most powerful computer in the world, but it's relatively powerful, and it's powerful enough for me to edit 4K videos and come up with videos every week. But I'm just saying, coming back to photo editing, if every single photograph, it takes me, like every drag of a slider, it takes me like half a second slower, it adds up. Let's say one photograph, I can finish 2 or 3 seconds faster. In 1,000 photographs, it's gonna add up to like hours of work, right? Hours of time saved. So the Capture One is just a lot more like everything is just instant. Everything is just fast. Yeah. Cicero says, you mentioned odd skin tones of Panasonic. Is this only an issue with JPEGs? No. RAW is what's in a RAW. And somehow the older cameras are fine. I remember I played with GF2. GF2 was okay. The colors is fine. The problem with G9, LX100, GM1, GH4, GH5. I haven't tried the newer GH7, so I don't know the GH7's color because that's a new sensor, so I don't know how's the RAW files. Hopefully they improved it. Volkan says, will there be an updated cheat sheet for OM system? No. No more cheat sheets, I guess, because I'm not using the OM1 as my main camera. I'm using the EM1 Mark II as my main camera. Until the OM system get the shit together and fix the autofocus, no cheat sheet for OM system. How does that sound? Fair, right? All right, that's it for tonight. It's 14 minutes past midnight. I think we've gone a little bit over time. I hope you guys have enjoyed the chat. To me, I still love Micro Four Thirds. I actively still use Micro Four Thirds, and I wish Micro Four Thirds will not only survive but thrive in the future. To me, I just enjoy using Micro Four Thirds so much, not just for my professional work, but for my professional projects as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this stream. You guys have enjoyed looking at the photographs that I've shared earlier. There were 2 sets, the event photographs from the Sigma BF launch, as well as the street photographs that I've taken last Sunday. There was some street portraits and yeah, around scenes around Kuala Lumpur. If you have, please consider supporting me. Buy me a cup of coffee or contribute directly to my PayPal or join as a member or buy from my affiliate links. All links in the description below. Any contribution will go a long way. It will definitely support me. And yeah, remember there's no live stream next week. I have a job booking that clashes with my live stream time next week, and I have a dinner on Friday night and Wednesday night. Jimmy Chang is going live, and then I just figure out maybe I'll just take 1 week break. No live stream for next week. I'll come back the week after. And yeah, I guess I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.